third title in 5 years. Score! Powered by grit, defined by championship DNA. Congratulations to the Pios, college hockey's gold standard. Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
What is going on, everybody? Phillip Lindsay here with the one and only Williams Jewelers. And I know there's at least 50 of you listening to me right now who are thinking about popping that question here soon. And if that is the case, then you know you need a diamond. So let me save you some time and money, because everybody wants to save time and definitely everybody wants to save money by telling you something as simple as this. You need to go see my jeweler. So whether you're starting that next chapter with your perfect diamond engagement ring, or celebrating a new milestone, or finally just doing something special for yourself for once, this is where it's all going to begin. Imagine the finest jewelry legends all in one store together, making you feel just like family, and their service is going to reflect that. So come shop the finest loose diamonds in Denver. They have every size, shape, and price range you can imagine, in the largest selection of engagement ring settings I've ever set eyes on. And not only are they going to share the secrets of the business with you, but they're going to give you the best price in Colorado, guaranteed. So why wouldn't you want to create moments and memories for yourself and, of course, the ones you love by going to Williams Jewelers, the official jeweler of the Colorado Avalanche, Denver's first family of fine jewelers, located in Cherry Creek North on 3rd Avenue, and also in Inglewood, at Broadway, and Bellevue. And don't forget to mention my name, Phillip Lindsay, when you step through one of those doors.
When your check engine light comes on, do you see a repair bill, or do you see peace of mind? For 20 years, CarShield's been the name America trusts to help keep you on the road. While other companies stop covering you when your car gets older, CarShield offers protection plans up to 200,000 miles. With over $1 billion in claims paid, we don't just promise protection, we deliver it. Don't let a breakdown break your budget. Get the flexible month-to-month coverage you deserve. Go to carshield.com. That's carshield.com today.
A multi-billion-dollar settlement is paying claims for up to 21 years. If you were exposed to weed killers at work or at home, your rights are affected. If you or your family has or had non-Hodgkin lymphoma, you could receive $6,000 to $165,000 or more. This settlement impacts you even if you're not sick, because this blood cancer can take 10 to 15 years to appear. If you stay in the settlement, you give up your right to sue. Learn more at weedkillerclass.com or call 888-403-8201. Paid for by the Roundup Settlement.
The cost of living isn't just high, it's exhausting. If you've been leaning on credit cards lately just to cover the basics like groceries, gas, and utility bills, you're essentially paying a survival tax of 20% interest or more. Why keep handing your hard-earned paycheck to the big banks when you could keep it for your family? My friends at American Financing have a better way. They're helping homeowners tap into their equity to pay off high-interest debt with mortgage rates currently in the 5s. On average, American Financing is saving their customers $800 a month. That's nearly $10,000 a year back in your pocket. It's not just a loan, it's a total financial reset. There are no upfront fees and no obligation to talk to a salary-based mortgage consultant. Here's the kicker. Start today, and you could even delay 2 mortgage payments. Call American Financing at 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000, or online at americanfinancing.net. NMLS 182334, NMLSconsumeraccess.org. APR for rates in the 5s start at 6.196% for well-qualified buyers. Call 303-695-7000 for details about credit costs and terms.
At Common Spirit Health, we don't just see a cancer diagnosis. We see you, and you don't have to do this alone. We believe you should be surrounded by your people, so you can keep them close while you get care close to home. Supported by our care team from diagnosis to treatment and beyond, and strengthened by treatment tailored to you. Because there's no one-size-fits-all approach to cancer care. Find cancer care with human kindness close to you at mountain.commonspirit.org.
Your roof's the single most important part of your house. Snow and high winds can damage your roof. Don't trust your roof to any fly-by-night roofing companies. Call the professionals at Golden Spike for a free roof inspection and tell them you heard about it on the Fan. They're a locally owned company and a Team Dave Logan member.
Call Golden Spike Roofing when your roof needs a fix. 303-942-1386. Golden Spike Roofing.
Stream Stokely and Evans with Mark Schlereth, Dover and Cecil, The Drive, and all your favorite shows on the Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan app. Powered by Advanced Tax Solutions. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan presents The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay.
off and rolling. Here on a Monday, April 13th, as the days continue to fall off the calendar and we burrow our way through 2026 into the NBA and NHL playoffs. What up, Will?
What up, Zach?
How you doing, man?
I'm great. How are you, brother?
I'm doing good, man. Happy to have you in here. Obviously, Phil normally sitting in that spot, feeling a little under the weather, but it's great to have the depth, kind of like the Nuggets bench, to have the depth. Someone like Tim Hardaway Jr. come off the bench.
Ooh.
You're kind of like the fans, Tim Hardaway Jr. in some senses. So it's
Sixth
good to
man
have
of the
you
year. I love it.
in the conversation.
Okay.
In the conversation. Let's not crown him in the second segment. We'll see how you do over the next 3.5 hours.
All right, sounds good. At least you didn't tell me Jalen Pickett or something like that.
No, well, be careful. Jalen Pickett, he was hooping the other night.
All right, Hunter Tyson, who's
There
no
you go.
longer a Nugget.
That's I like that. I like that. The Nuggets regular season is in the books, and if you're someone like myself, mercifully so, right? Ready to start this big boy journey of the NBA postseason. We've waited a year to get back to this spot after another second round exit a year ago for a second consecutive year. That time by way of Oklahoma City. But now you're matched up with the same team who knocked you out 2 years ago when you were supposed to be going back to back. And, man, the layers and the drama of this thing is made for TV.
Oh, absolutely. It's fascinating that it's the Wolves of all teams in round one because, Zach, would I have rather played the Lakers or the Rockets? Of course I would have. But my whole thing all season has been kick the can down the road and play Oklahoma City as late as possible. And the way you did that was by earning the 3 seed and making sure you couldn't play the Thunder until the Western Conference Finals. So I think all the folks out there that wanted them to play LA or Houston were too focused on wanting to win a round and not wanting to win the whole thing. We're way too deep in the Nikola Jokic era to care about winning one round. This path, it's a tough path. No one's going to doubt that. But ultimately not playing the Thunder until the NBA's version of the Final Four, I think makes the most sense. That's why I was glad they got the 3 seed, although I must admit I was a little frustrated about how they navigated their way to that 3 seed and the way they managed the roster over the last couple games.
You did not like them shutting guys down.
No, I thought they needed to put the foot on the gas and make sure they got the 3. Now, it all worked out in the end, but you remember a couple years ago, they had that bad loss to the Spurs.
Yes.
And it cost them seeding, and it ultimately cost them in the playoffs.
It did.
And so I'm just glad we don't have to have those conversations today of, well, now you got to play Oklahoma City in round 2 because you left everyone in Denver other than Nikola, who just went down to play his 18 minutes, make sure he qualified for postseason awards. So, yeah, I really was not a fan of the way they handled the Thunder and Spurs games. I'm just glad they both still led to victories.
I didn't have a huge issue with it just because the story of this season, and by the way, I understand your point of view. I just see it a little bit differently. I think if you were to, like, if someone came to me and they said, hey, Will Peterson has been frozen like Austin Powers. He just woke up. He's going to take the longest leak ever. But you're going to have to summarize the 2025-2026 Denver Nuggets season to him. I would say something like this. I would summarize it, some version of this. When they're at their best, they can beat anyone in the league. Unfortunately, we only saw that in abbreviated stints because how banged up they were. And in my this is my ninth or 10th year covering the Nuggets. This is the most disjointed season that they've ever had from a health standpoint. And because of that being the sort of backdrop to the season, I was okay with the way that they handled it. Now, do I think that the way that they handled it was health in a vacuum? No. I think that they were conveniently checking off the box of getting guys rest that they otherwise wouldn't have, and I think that's incredibly valuable. And I'm glad that it happened the way it unfolded the way that it did. Do I think that they, not trying to duck Minnesota, that's too strong. I think, and I told Phil in our audience this about 3 to 4 weeks ago, talking to someone inside the organization, the guys in the locker room wanted Houston. And Adelman said that we talked about it as a group, and I think that they made their thoughts known and opinions heard. So I think there's some credence to what you were saying of sort of playing the standings gymnastics, which the basketball gods, a lot of times, they don't like that stuff. Will. They don't like that stuff.
Yeah, it generally doesn't work out. Manipulating the standings. Michael Malone was very infamous all those years ago for manipulating the standings down the stretch.
And it burnt them against Portland.
And they lost to Portland.
Mistaken.
Yes,
yeah.
and they lost a Game 7 here to the Trailblazers, if I'm right on that one. So, yeah, look, the thing about wanting Houston, again, do you want to win round one or do you want to win the whole thing? This, to me, feels so much more sustainable to win the whole thing. We don't know how hurt Anthony Edwards is. He's obviously going to play, but we'll see if he's limited in any capacity. And then I always take this from you because I think it's one of your best lines. You got to get scars in the NBA.
The accumulation of scars.
And the Spurs don't have those scars yet. I love the fact that you could go to the Western Conference Finals by playing a kind of a beat-up, underachieving Minnesota team and then a Spurs team that isn't going to win the whole thing this year. Those could be famous last words, but I really don't think they're going to win the whole thing this year.
They're not. They're not. You cannot microwave, unless they're the single most exceptional team in NBA history, and I do not believe that's the case. You cannot microwave the experience. Jordan had to go through it against the Detroit Pistons. Shaq and Kobe had to go through it against the Utah Jazz multiple times. LeBron had to go through it against the Big Three, Boston Celtics, and those Detroit Pistons teams at the very start of his career. Jokic and Jamal Murray, even the early Miami Heat that were crowned a dynasty before it ever even started. Did they win a championship as great as they were, even with their own individual playoff experience? Did they win in their first year? They did not. So you have to go through it. San Antonio has not gone through it. How many games did they win a year ago? Like 35, something like that? You just cannot snap your fingers. So for me, yes, it's a hard path. It is. But it's not supposed to be easy, Will. It's not supposed to be some grooved path. And if that ever did exist, if a grooved path ever did exist, it arguably could have been the 2023 postseason run. Arguably.
But you still beat Anthony Edwards, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, LeBron James.
Yeah, Anthony Davis. Yep.
Anthony Davis.
But that Boston team, you were on a collision course with Boston. And when Boston got upset and you beat a Miami Heat team that was down with under 5 minutes left to go in the play-in game, and they end up in the NBA Finals, it's traditionally harder at the very, very top of that mountain. Anyway, all I'm saying is, if there was ever a window of time to put to bed that arguable narrative, it's right now. Going through Minnesota, going through Wemby and the Spurs, going through the reigning champion Oklahoma City Thunder on your way to a championship, it's right here for you.
It really is. It really is, and it would be historic if they pull it off. What do you make of the importance of kicking the can down the road with the Thunder? Because round two has not been kind to the Nuggets the last 2 years.
Yep.
They've played very memorable series, but they've lost back-to-back Game 7s. Ripped our hearts out in both of them for different reasons. Last year's not as much because they kind of blew that series to the Thunder in Game 4 and 5, and then obviously they were playing with like 3.5 guys once Game 7 rolled around. But what do you make of avoiding the Thunder as long as possible and knowing that you can't play them in round two?
I personally like it. I do,
too.
and we've been talking about it here behind the scenes for the last week or two, and it's like, well, you'll be healthier in the second round, and I understand that thought process because it's been a banged up team, but guess who's also been banged up? The Thunder. The Thunder, their second best player, missed most of the season. All NBA player, not all NBA caliber, an all NBA player who's capable of dropping 40 points in the NBA Finals, and Jalen Williams, which we just saw last spring. Isaiah Hartenstein has missed a bunch of time. Alex Caruso has missed a bunch of time. So who's to say? Now, they've gone and won 64 games despite that, which is something that Denver just could not, replicate. But who's to say that their top players don't get banged up throughout the postseason the way that they have during the regular season? So, look, and guess what? Even if you got through the Thunder in the second round because you were healthier, someone's going to be waiting for you in the Western Conference Finals. You can't jerry-rig this thing up to the degree where everything's perfect. It's not going to be. It's never going to be. So let's go through it. You can't. I read this book to my kid about going on a bear hunt. Or I used to. It's a little young for him now. But you can't go around it. You can't go over it. You can't go under it. You got to go through it. That's how this is supposed to be. So go do it. What's required is greatness. Greatness is required here. Do they have that? Do they have greatness in 2026? I don't know, but I'm getting my popcorn. I cannot wait to find out.
No, I can't wait either. And going on a 12-game winning streak, I don't care what the schedule says. That's impressive. Winning 12 in a row. I mean, we always talk about getting hot at the right time, Zach. Having momentum. Well, they're hot at the right time, and they certainly have momentum. And I just feel like this isn't it. I never want to say it's it.
Yeah, that thing's been funky.
But if you're going to get a second title in the Nikola Jokic window, this kind of feels like the year. It kind of does. And again, we could be sitting here next year saying if you're going to get a second title, it feels, but you're only going to have so many chances.
That's right.
You're only going to have so many opportunities. I really hope he gets a second ring, and I hope our hockey team and all their superstars get a second ring as well.
Man, I can't wait to get to that one. All right, we'll circle back to this at the top of the hour because there's a bunch of layers to this story between Denver and Minnesota that make it cinematic, if you will, and we'll get to that at the top of the hour. But first, the NFL draft is this week. Are we in for an orange and blue curveball in round one? Someone with a recent track record says yes. We'll tell you who said what next.
Get ready, Broncos country. This is the event you've been waiting for. Join Peyton Manning, Emmanuel Sanders, Von Miller, DeMarcus Ware, Aqib Talib, TJ Ward, and Coach Gary Kubiak as they reunite to relive their legendary Super Bowl 50 run. It's Night of Champions, a live, unforgettable show packed with stories, memories, and a behind-the-scenes look at one of the greatest seasons in NFL history. And Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan wants you to be there. Enter now for your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets at DenverSports.com/champions. Don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime night with the heroes of Super Bowl 50.
Hey, what's up, guys? Zach here on behalf of my friends at the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, talking to you men out there about intimacy. Guys, it matters, all right? But when erectile dysfunction gets in the way, it can feel frustrating, embarrassing, and isolating. Maybe the first time it happened, you laughed it off, no biggie, but then it happened again and again. Guys, the truth is most men, they don't have to live with ED anymore, all right? You may be surprised by the right treatment can improve your life. That's what you get at the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic. They use advanced medical science and proven therapies that go far beyond pills. Guys, I'm talking success rates well over 90%. They've served the Front Range of Colorado for nearly a decade. They've successfully treated tens of thousands of men just like you. All right, the initial visit, just $99. That includes a medical consult, a T and PSA test, and if medically advised, a test dose. It's real simple, guys. If the test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit's free. There's no downside. So pick up the phone. Stop living with ED. Call them 720-440-7900 or visit them online at RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com.
Progressive's Home Quote Explorer helps you easily find and buy the right coverage for you. It's everything you've always wanted. Well, I mean, as far as a website that lets you shop, quote, and buy insurance in one place. But hey, maybe that is everything you've always wanted. Yeah, people have different types of dreams. And if all you've ever been searching for is a website that helps you choose home insurance rates and coverage, boy, do we have great news about Progressive's Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Jacob's Law and 303 Law 4040. I want to tell you about one of the cases I'm most proud of. And it's not because the number is eye-popping, although it is. It's because the clients trusted us to get them justice, and we delivered for them. Our clients were a wonderful couple, weren't looking to get rich. In fact, they kept saying, Dan, we're not looking to set any records here. But they were seriously injured. And despite promising to take care of them, when it came time to do the right thing, the insurance companies played hardball. We set it for trial and wound up getting $8.5 million. Plus, my lovely wife, Kimberly, was able to get all of their medical bills wiped out, putting hundreds of thousands of extra dollars in the clients' pockets. We were proud to help because our clients were good-hearted people who deserved justice. We hope you never need us, but if you do, we are here to help at 303 Law 4040, where you always get to meet directly with me and my lovely wife, Kimberly. Save that number in your phone. You never know when you're going to need it. That's 303 Law 4040.
Running a small business means juggling a lot. Your network has to handle it all. That's where a fiber-only provider falls short. You need a partner who gives you a greater advantage. Introducing the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A first-ever combination of the largest, fastest fiber-powered network, the most reliable Wi-Fi, gig speeds with equipment and security included, and a 5-year price lock. Plus, it's all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. The Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A new standard for small business with reliability, security, and savings in one. Switch today. Get started with a great offer as low as $60 a month. When you add it all up, no one does business like Comcast Business.
Offer ends 6/1/26. New customers only. Requires 300 megabits per second internet and security edge. 1-year agreement, EcoBill, and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of Miko's Hot Chicken. When we started our family restaurant, we were also raising a family. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Our Chase Inc. card was there to reward us on all of our business needs. Now we have a thriving location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for Business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Hey, it's Mike Evans. Restore your bald spot, reverse your receding hairline, or add volume to thinning hair with the same simple one-day treatment I receive from Dr. Tanya Pauls of Advanced Hair. Your own natural hair begins regrowing the very next day, and your new hair is guaranteed to grow. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. For your free consultation, $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Call 720-459-HAIR, advancedhair.com.
Plumline Services, serving Colorado since 1998 for all your heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs. Service at home, servants at heart.
This segment on 104.3 The Fan's brought to you by Williams Jewelers, the official jeweler of the Colorado Avalanche.
Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan presents The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay.
All right, so the NFL draft is next week, despite yours truly saying that it was this week going into the last break. Just misspoke. I'm going to be honest with you. My head is barely attached to my body, okay? I had a weekend that was busy as hell. Me and my kids started to get sick during the weekend, and I'm lucky. I feel lucky that I'm able to come into work. Phil has got something going on. Dover was sick last week with something. So there's something going on here. And I could get a call any second from my kid's school. But it was a super busy weekend and just putting this together. I'm going in the break. I said, hey, the NFL draft is this week. And we get off the air and Will goes, hey, just a heads up, the NFL draft's next week. I'm like, yeah, I know. It's like, well, you said this week. Drew Spivak comes in the door. He goes, hey, just a heads up, the NFL draft's next week. And then Drew leaves. And then Dante followed him about 90 seconds later saying, hey, just a heads up, NFL draft's next week. You said it was this week. I'm like, I got it. Sorry, I misspoke. But we are inching so close. Maybe it feels like it's this week, Will.
Yeah, no, it's going to be here before you know it. And obviously, the Broncos not having a first-round pick takes a little bit of the shine off of it.
Like for you, your interest is normally what out of 10, and what is it now?
I'm normally like an 8 or 9 out of 10. Obviously, the year you knew they were going to take a quarterback, I was certainly a 10 out of 10. But this year, I'm still like a 5 or 6. I'm still a 5 or 6 because here's the thing. Are we going to know the players they take? Probably not. You might. You might have done a preview segment on them at some point. But I'm just so curious about the position they take because I think they need to take a tight end and they need to take an inside linebacker, and they probably need to do those things pretty early on. Well, you just traded your first-round pick and your third-round pick. So what's it going to be at 62? Because if it's like a corner at 62, I'm not going to be real thrilled. The whole best player available.
It can't be a corner again.
George loves taking corners.
It just can't be.
The whole best player available thing burned him last year, Zach. It did. Jahdae Barron, I'm not going to call him a bust yet because I'm going to give him a couple years. I think it's too early to call someone a bust after their rookie season.
Agreed.
But unfortunately, he's trending in that direction. They can't make that mistake this year. Oh, BPA, we had this guy evaluated at 47, and so we're going to take him at 62. Nah, you told us in free agency you love this roster, but there's still a couple holes. I'm really hoping the Broncos draft for need, and to me, those needs are tight end and inside linebacker.
Well, they may have a different answer than that. The team, like position of need. Do they how many needs do they really have? This was just a team that won 14 games and was a half a football away from going to the Super Bowl. Not that you don't have quarter turns of improvement, but I don't know. I don't know if there's some great outstanding need. Now, I'll agree with you that they need to address the tight end in a meaningful and long-term plan. through the draft. That's the only way you're going to find a franchise tight end. You're not going to go get one in free agency. They don't exist in free agency. And maybe we should have known that and tempered our expectation for the ultimate joker. But tight ends up there, well, we'll save that conversation. I want to get to this conversation that we teased into because the draft is just over a week away. All right?
It's next week.
Thank you, Will.
Yep.
Is there an orange and blue curveball coming in round 1? Someone with a recent track record says yes. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about Aqib Talib. What did Aqib Talib say recently that didn't make a lot of sense at the time he said it, but turned out retroactively, you look back like, what did he know?
He basically said something big was coming, and then they traded for Jalen Waddle within, 24, 48 hours?
Literally.
Yeah.
And so Aqib has called his shot here. So he's got this show with Skip Bayless, TJ Ward's on it. I think it's just like a digital show, like maybe on YouTube or something like that. I shouldn't say just a digital show. It's a digital show on YouTube. And Talib, this is the exchange here within the last couple days between he and Skip Bayless. Listen to this.
So, Kinsey, I keep waiting for the bombshell to drop because this man across from me over here keeps saying Denver's going to make another big move, and I keep waiting.
It might be the draft.
And wait. Oh,
yeah.
The draft.
It might be the draft, Skip.
Yeah.
So just,
Maybe they're just getting gun shy in Denver.
Hey, come on, Skip.
Come on.
You still don't believe me? You still don't believe me, Skip?
No,
unfortunately,
I do, and I'm dreading what's about to happen.
It might be on draft day.
Yeah, okay.
Just know that.
It might be on draft day. Just know that. Like, what? Oh, you don't believe me yet? Like, I already. Well, first of all, for Skip Bayless to say, what are they getting gun shy in Denver? Like, what the hell are you talking about, dude? They just traded their first round pick for Jalen Waddle.
Right.
They traded a first round pick for Sean Payton. They traded multiple first round picks for Russell Wilson. The last label that the Denver Broncos need is gun shy. Okay. But interesting comments from Aqib Talib saying it might be in the draft. Just wait till the draft. Watch out. Where does your mind go?
Yeah, what could it be? I think that's the $1 million question. I mean, is there a chance they trade back into the first round and take a Kenyon Sadiq, something like that? I don't know, but that's all I can really think of because they're not going to make some blockbuster trade for a wide receiver. They just did that. They're not going to do it for a quarterback, obviously. Running back, I don't even know who you could acquire that would be big, quote unquote, at this stage of the offseason. So,
what if it's a trade?
A trade back into round 1 or a trade for a running back?
I'm talking like a draft day trade where you're giving assets or players for another player, and that's just the window of time where deals like that can get done.
But who? Who's where my mind goes to?
I don't know. I mean,
like, is there a running back who's unhappy in his current situation that has been rumored to float that he could get moved? I can't think of a name off the top of my head.
I'll just make something up. Okay. I'll just make something up. Christian McCaffrey homecoming.
Okay, well, that would certainly check the box of being monumental and big.
Right? Like, it's like, okay, could it have run its course there in San Francisco for whatever reason? Does he find that? Like, I don't know. I'm literally making something up. But, like, we did not see the Waddle trade coming in the way that it came.
No.
And so that's how I'm trying to think of, like, okay, what could be that it's not currently at the top of mind? I don't know. Again, I'm just, made up Christian McCaffrey. But
so when you hear Aqib, you're thinking current player based on what we just played, not maybe a big trade back into the first round because they're in love with some prospect that they can only get at 28 or something.
I mean, I suppose they could, but I don't know if, well, I shouldn't speak for, I was going to say, I don't know if this, general manager of this organization is in love with departing with more draft picks, but we just don't know. What if they are all in right here, right now? You're in a Super Bowl window. Bo Nix on a rookie contract. They're well aware of this. Could there be another blockbuster coming that makes up for all the consternation to start free agency?
Yeah, no, it'd be exciting. And if Waddle was only step 1 and there's another big step 2 coming, then maybe they'll do it. Maybe they'll pull it off. That this whole sort of charade of an offseason was just leading to 2 big moves. And we just thought it was only 1 big move and it was only Waddle. And now a second one's coming. You get that Adam Schefter tweet, and you're like, whoa, you got to read it twice. You got to make sure it's not a darn Schefter. You got to make sure it's Adam Schefter.
Right.
That would be very exciting. And I don't think Aqib's doing this for attention.
I don't think so either.
I think Aqib probably has a pretty good source on this, similar to how we had a good source on the Waddle trade.
Yeah.
And does it mean something's going to happen? No, but we would be absolutely foolish not to listen to Aqib Talib when he literally called it just a few weeks ago.
Yeah. All right, what do you guys think? Where does your mind go when you hear Aqib Talib say that a move could be coming in next week's draft? 303-713-1043 is the RamosLaw.com text line. CU football was going viral before their first snap of the spring game. Big deal? Little deal? We'll decide next.
A major shakeup for the Colorado Rockies. The Penner Sports Group, owners of the Denver Broncos, has officially purchased a 40% stake in the Rockies, becoming the team's largest minority partner. While the Montfort family remains in full control, this move signals fresh investment, new ideas, and potentially a new long-term vision for the franchise. What could this mean for the Rockies' future? Stay tuned. Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Hey, what's up, guys? Zach here. If you're looking for the ultimate place to post up for a big game, you gotta get to the Basketball Social House Bar and Grill in Centennial. This is your headquarters for every upset, every buzzer beater. The place is unreal, guys. Award-winning food and drinks, including a brunch you absolutely need to try, all right? And it's not just another sports bar. This is the first of its kind sports bar and entertainment experience. Literally the only one like it in the world, and it's right here in Centennial. And listen, you don't have to be a hooper to love it. The vibe, the energy, the menu, it's all next level. But if you do want to play, you can book your own private basketball suite with a court, lounge seating, music, TVs, the whole deal. Perfect for watch parties, team hangouts, or just leveling up your night. And for big games, guys, you're covered. They have the best happy hour in Colorado every day from 7 p.m. to close, all right? You can find them at 7450 South University Boulevard in Centennial. Check them out online at thebasketballsocialhouse.com. And because you heard it from me, use the code HALFOFFHOOPS for half off your first time private basketball suite rental. Trust me, guys, this place is a slam dunk.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Veterans and active duty service members, when your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Franklin here to talk to you about water filtration. Unfiltered water in your home is no joke. Did you know tap water can shorten the life of your pipes and, even worse, be dangerous to your family's health? Our punctual plumbers can install a whole home system that filters water before it enters your pipes. Visit BenjaminFranklinPlumbing.com or call 877-BEN-1776 to request an appointment.
Go with the flow, the local pros call Benjamin Franklin Plumbing.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
There's nothing more meaningful you could do for yourself, your family, and friends than finally getting rid of that pain so they can enjoy time with you again, especially heading into vacation season. If you say yes to any of these questions, you are the kind of patient QC Kinetics regenerative treatments help every single day. Do you have consistent joint pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, or back? The pain keeps you from getting a good night's sleep. I'm missing work or saying no to activities that I enjoy. I don't want surgery and a long recovery. I'm at the end of my rope, taking medications every day to just get through. Moment of truth. Did you answer yes to more than one of those questions? Well, today could be your day to turn that corner and finally get relief. QC Kinetics treatments are easy. They're done right there in the office so you can go about your day. The consultation's free, so don't wait. Call today. 303-900-8986. That's 303-900-8986. With locations in Aurora, Superior, Highlands Ranch, and the Springs, it's QC Kinetics.
Your reputation matters. That's why so many landscape professionals choose Gravely. Right now, during the Gravely Mow the Distance sales event, you can save up to 20% on Gravely commercial mowers. Built to perform day after day, so you can deliver the results your clients expect. Work hard, mow with Gravely. It's the Gravely Mull the Distance sales event, April 9th through the 19th. Visit your local Gravely dealer today.
Listen up, Denver. This hour's keyword is arena, ARENA. Text arena to 303-713-1043 right now, and you could win a $50 Dick's Sporting Goods gift card and qualify for the $1,000 grand prize. That's arena to 303-713-1043.
By texting, you agree to receive an automated marketing message from DenverSports 1043 The Fan. Message and data rates may apply. For complete rules or to enter the keyword online, visit www.denversports.com/keyword.
You're listening to The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay on Denver Sports 1043 The Fan.
All right, CU football was going viral before their first snap of the spring game. I want to take a peek at it. Before we get to that, guys, join the 2015 Denver Bronco greats, Peyton Manning, Emmanuel Sanders, Von Miller, DeMarcus Ware, Aqib Talib, TJ Ward, Coach Gary Kubiak as they look back at their Super Bowl 50 run. Night of Champions is a live show that's going to feature a dynamic panel discussion, football stories and memories, giving fans an all-access look at one of the greatest seasons in football history. And Denver Sports 1043 The Fan, we want you to be there, guys. Enter now at denversports.com/champions for your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets. Will Peterson sitting in for Phillip Lindsay today. I'm sure you saw this over the weekend. You know, if you were on social media, it was rather unavoidable. CU's spring game, all right, the size of the Buffalo players became a huge talking point on social media, to the point where the Buffs offensive coordinator eventually is like replying to this stuff. Will, did you see the size of the Buffs running out of the tunnel? Is it something or nothing?
Could be something. Yeah, because you're talking about the physical players, not the size of the crowd.
No, I'm talking about and we'll get to the size of the crowd here in a minute, but I'm talking about the physical size and stature of these players that ran out on the Folsom Field. To a lot of people, it did not pass the Power 4 eye test. What did your eyes tell you?
Yeah, that it looked like, it could have been Cherry Creek High School running out of the tunnel. Something like that. There just wasn't a lot of beef, a lot of brawn. I don't pretend to know the entire CU football roster. Okay?
Well, no one does. They have 60 new players.
It changes every single year. The transfer portal's out of control. That's a whole other conversation for a different day. But I am on record thinking the Buffs are going to be bad this year. I think they're going to be really bad. Once again, I think this is going to be Coach Prime's last season in Boulder.
Hold on, but let's put a pin in that. Continue your thought.
Yeah, it doesn't look to me like if the Buffs had to go line up with some farm boys, Kansas State, tomorrow, that they'd be able to handle it in the trenches. And I'm not going to, completely overreact to one clip because it's a spring game and we don't know exactly who these guys are and whatnot. But at the same time, when you got the OC publicly fighting people about it, I think they're probably aware of it too.
Well, here's what I'll say. And then I want to get back to the Coach Prime last year thing. Did the players look small in the video? They did. It's kind of unavoidable, right? Like if you know what you're looking at, you see the group of players that ran out, they look, I'm not going to say bite-sized, but they looked, they did not fulfill the profile of what you think in your mind's eye when you think of a Power 4 football player.
I don't think Alabama looks like that running out of the tunnel.
No. That being said, were all the players shown? I don't think so. Are those guys, backup to backups that we saw? I don't know. Again, like you, I'm not going to pretend to know the too deep, here in April. That being said, they looked small. It doesn't mean that even if those were some frontline starters that, undersized guys can't win, at the line, I'm not saying that. They look small though. I don't know how else to. The players that we saw, is that the full encapsulation? I don't know, so I want to leave room for that. But the players that we did see looked smaller than average.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of getting at the core of an issue that I've had with the Buffs for almost 12 months now. I don't know if it's cool to play for Deion Sanders anymore. I think it definitely was cool when he first got here.
Yeah.
And Coach Prime, and you get to go be on national TV every week and in the headlines and all kinds of attention on the program, and every single game's a big game on NBC or ABC or CBS or ESPN. I think that's gone. I think it's gone, unfortunately.
No, you're right.
And Deion's still, he's a Hall of Famer. He's a legend. Like, none of that changes, obviously.
Of course.
But the shine is just completely worn off this program.
It has.
It has. Like, it's to the point where the Buffs are like 8th on my power rankings in Denver sports of things I care about at this moment. That wasn't the case when they had Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders. They were in the top 3.
It was appointment viewing, and if you weren't up to speed with what was going on, you were in the minority.
Totally.
And now, yeah, I agree. Look, I think the dynamics for CU are pretty clear for me. Okay, the top players in this sport right now go get NIL money. CU does not have NIL money to give, okay? So let's just start there. So you're not going to get the top level of player. You're just not, okay? If you accept that to be true, all right, then you have to say, okay, so what makes CU different? What brings a kid to CU if you don't have the NIL money to give? Well, it's got to be Deion. It's got to be Deion. If it's not Deion, what is it? It's not. Don't tell me Folsom Field and the Flatirons, because they've had one successful season in 20. Okay, so people don't organically come here to Colorado to play football. So you need Deion Sanders to bridge the gap with his superpower. But what's his superpower? It's not him as a coach. I've been emphatically saying for years now he's not a good football coach. He's not. Just because you can play or could play doesn't mean you could coach. Michael Jordan couldn't run a basketball team, and Wayne Gretzky couldn't coach hockey. Okay, so but you do have a superpower. It's your personality. It's your magnetism that you naturally have, your gravitas. And the fact that you take that cape that you could potentially have and you tuck it into your shirt because you don't go out on the road and recruit, well, you have a real problem here. No NIL money to give, and you tuck the cape of your superpower into your shirt. And that's how you land at 1-8 in Big 12 play and 3-9 overall. And so moving forward, it's like, and I actually, to a degree, and I've talked with Phil about this, I actually like their approach this year of going after proven production in the portal. Not the guys who wash out at Texas and Alabama who don't play, but you're infatuated with the logo that they had on their helmet when they were 19, and surely they'll work here. No. Go to the lower levels of college football and grab the guys who are all conference, who are looking for a shot to play at the highest level, that aren't looking for the NIL money, but are looking for an opportunity that they can play. And so, but in some ways, Will, it's almost they're resorting to that because Deion doesn't recruit and you don't have the NIL money to give. So this is the smartest strategy because it's one of the only left to try to compete at the highest level.
But that's how you end up with a bunch of kids that look like they're 5'10", $180.
Correct.
And are not D1 football players. They're not Big 12 football players.
Not high level, not power 4 D1 players.
Right, like the walk-ons at the end of the bench kind of thing. And
well,
that looked like a lot of walk-ons to me.
No, I disagree because a lot of these guys were studs just at the non-Power 5 level or even FCS level, which is still Division I football. It's just not the same.
I'm just going off the videos, Zach. They didn't look impressive with their stature.
And I'm going off the actual human beings that are coming in here. They have guys that were starring at lower levels. Is it going to work here? I don't know. But if you're not going to try that, what else do you have left as a resolution? How are you going to get these top-tier kids on campus? I don't see a path for that to happen. So they're going this route. I like it, but it almost feels like a last resort, to be honest with you. And so, okay, I'll read you what the assistant coach said, the new OC, in a reply to this viral video that was going on. We'll get to that here in just a second. But also, we get another postseason chapter from a complicated story that's still being written. We'll talk all things Nuggets, Timberwolves, first round of the playoffs next.
The Denver Nuggets are rolling into the postseason. A win over San Antonio locks up the 3rd seed, caps a 12-game winning streak, and now the road to another O'Brien Trophy begins. Game 1 of the playoffs tips off Saturday afternoon. As the Nuggets host Minnesota, can Denver exorcise the ghosts of 2024 and take down the Wolves? Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Denver's playoff headquarters.
They called Route 66 the Mother Road, Main Street of America, the road you could trust to get you where you needed to go. This year, Route 66 turns 100 and Siltahar Motors turns 66. Both built on trust, community, and doing things the right way. No shortcuts, no detours, just honest deals from people who treat you like a neighbor. See all their inventory on sale now at sthmotors.com or visit Highway 36 and Wadsworth. And stay tuned, something big's coming in May to celebrate 66 years. Siltahar Motors, get everything you want out of a dealership.
At Belco Credit Union, we want to make your dream renovation a reality. Maybe that means a modern kitchen upgrade or a luxurious new bathroom. With Belco's Home Equity Choice line, you can get easy access to funds with the freedom and convenience of a home equity line of credit, plus the security and stability of a home equity loan. Plus, Belco is also offering low rates for qualified borrowers. Learn more at belco.org/choiceline. Belco is an equal opportunity housing lender. Belco, banking for everyone.
Cecil Lammy here for Window Nation. Spring is a great time to open your windows and wait a second, what? Windows won't open? They leak? They're cracked? They need repainting? Again? Getting top quality custom fit windows from Window Nation is easy and affordable. During the More You Buy, the More You Save sale, you could save up to 50% off. Plus, you could get them with zero interest for 5 years. During uncertain times, one of the best investments you can make is in your home. So visit windownation.com now to book a consultation.
Mike Rowe here with another random fact. Those cracks on your walls aren't just cosmetic. They could mean your home is sinking. Whether it's drywall cracks, exterior cracks, or sticking doors or windows, do yourself a favor. Call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys, and they're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to stabilize your foundation. Schedule a free inspection with Groundworks, the foundation and waterproofing experts.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Imagine all that could happen in 5 years. Jobs may change, kids will grow, new memes will come out, but also, what if you had reliable, intelligent Wi-Fi and the price didn't change for 5 years? Thanks to Xfinity 5-year price guarantee, you'll actually won't have to worry about that part of your future. You're guaranteed 5 years of Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to your devices that need them the most, that finds and fixes any issue before you even notice them. It's like super intelligent Wi-Fi that keeps you protected from online threats, all with our best equipment and no annual contracts, no fees, and no strings attached. So even though your kids will grow up, your internet stays sharp, reliable, and most importantly, the price will stay put. 5 years, same price. Locked in reliable fiber-powered gig Wi-Fi for effortless streaming. Plus, get Disney, Hulu Bundle, Peacock Premium included on us. To get started, call, visit Xfinity.com, or drop into an Xfinity store. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Peacock Premium included for 3 years. Programming subject to change in availability. Actual speeds may vary. Xfinity Internet is powered by fiber and connected to the premises by coaxial cable.
When the Nuggets are knocking down threes, you score too. If Denver hits 15 or more three-pointers, you score a free 28-ounce Gatorade Lower Sugar the very next day at your friendly King Supers. Gatorade Lower Sugar is scientifically formulated with Gatorade's #1 proven electrolyte blend and has 75% less sugar than Gatorade Thirst Quencher and no artificial flavors, sweeteners, or colors. Big shots deserve next level hydration. Only at King Supers.
What's going on, everybody? Phillip Lindsay here. And I've learned to grind through injuries and keep moving forward. But now that grind is becoming a breakdown. If you're ignoring joint pain, you're just waiting for a surgery you don't want. At Regenerex, they use your body's own biology, like stem cells, PRP, shockwave therapy, to repair the damage and get you back in the game. They focus on regenerating the joints, not just masking the symptoms. So you need to give my guys over at Regenerex a call today and schedule a free consultation. The number is 303-630-9770 or visit regenerex.co.
Low testosterone can be a real problem for many men. It causes poor sleep patterns, decreased energy, low sex drive, and it makes it really hard to stay in shape. And as we all know, a healthy body is very important to our overall health and well-being. This is Jeff for the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, and if some or all of these symptoms sound like you, we can likely help you be done with low T. We can also help you lose weight, support your metabolism, improve your gains in the gym, and more with our new targeted body composition plans featuring GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more. Our low T protocols, applied in conjunction with our body composition plans, will help most men see real improvements, true weight loss, higher energy, improved sleep, stronger workouts, and a renewed sex drive Drive as well. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on treatment the same day, your visit is free. Call 720-440-7900 or go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
This segment on 104.3 The Fan, powered by Waterloo Turf Denver. Get your Saturdays back.
KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. Powered by Regen RX. It's The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay. Leading off with the big story of the day, here's The Drive with Zach By and Denver, Colorado's own Phillip Lindsay.
1 hour in the books. Quicker than a New York minute. Hanging out with you here on a Monday. Will Peterson filling in for Phillip Lindsay today. Hopefully Phil back tomorrow. Feeling a little bit under the weather a little bit. As am I. I was willing to play hurt. He wasn't. So take that for what you will. We're hoping Phil feels better. Obviously, he's in just a little bit worse off shape than I am here today. But we have a lot to get to. Real quick, before we shift gears to the Denver Nuggets Timberwolves series, because there's quite a bit of layers to this saga. What did you make of the CU offensive coordinator, Brennan Marion, who has yet to coach a game here in Boulder, replying and sort of getting involved with the viral stuff? I want to read you exactly what he said. There's this guy, George, I don't know who he is, but Coach Marion must know him because he responded to him. Because this guy, George Reister, said, I need to see this Colorado team in person because they look little on social media. Can anyone confirm either way who has seen other top 25 teams in person? And if you're just joining us, there's a viral video, a CU coming out of the tunnel, and a lot of the players look small. I don't know exactly who the players are, what players we didn't see, so you got to be careful with making sweeping judgments with this stuff. But Brennan Marion felt enough need to respond, and he said, we'll be just fine, GW. Just clickbait, anything to attack Prime. I'm here. We good. End quote.
I don't love it. Reminds me of J.K. Dobbins last few weeks where he was fighting with everyone on social media and liking tweets that were critical of him, or not even critical of him, critical of the Broncos for not signing a running back from the outside free agent market and letting all five of those big guys go to different destinations. Look, man, you're coming from what, Sacramento State?
Yeah.
Go offense?
Well, UNLV, by way of Sacramento State.
Okay. Regardless, I don't think before you've even coached a game in black and gold, you need to be responding to trolls on Twitter. And maybe this guy's not even a troll. I don't know. But it's one of those things where it means your attention is focused on what people are saying online. And I get it. We all have phones. We all see what people say about us online. People talk about you online. They talk about me online all the time. But we're in a business that is encouraged. We're in the media business. We're not in the coaching business. We're not in the playing business. So it did remind me a little bit of Dobbins. Like, dude, you don't have to go favorite every tweet that says you're injury prone, because guess what? You are injury prone. It's not your fault, but you are.
Yeah.
So no, I don't love this at all.
Well, I didn't.
And when Deion does it, I'm cool with it because he's Deion. This dude, I don't know him. I don't know him from Adam. I'm excited to see his offense, but he's improved a lick in Boulder. Whereas at least Deion has brought some credibility to the program, even for all his faults.
I just think it was interesting that he said, "I'm here, we good." It's like, damn, that's a pretty high view of yourself.
Yeah, you feel pretty good about yourself.
We'll see how it all shakes out. It was a spring. It's a 10-second video, right? I don't want to go crazy over it. We'll see what it looks like when training camp opens up in the summer. But it's a very interesting year, and we never got to the, hey, this is going to be Deion's last season, because I'd like to circle back to that. I
don't think that's some sort of flaming hot take. They have a new athletic director.
Yes, they do, but I think that you're looking at it more in theory, not in practice. In theory, there's stuff you can point to and say, man, this could be his last year. In practice, I say, well, how does that actually happen? CU fires Deion Sanders?
I think a mutual parting of the ways would be how it was framed.
So that would be Deion Sanders turning down tens of millions of dollars?
I think Deion's got a lot of money.
I think people who have a lot of money want the money that they have coming to them contractually. I don't think you want to, and I'm not coming at you. I've heard a lot of that, and I just say, okay, talk it out, game theory it out. The university doesn't have money to give. They're on pace to have a record in terms of financial loss here in 2026, right? A record. They're not printing money. They're losing a lot of it. To say goodbye to Deion Sanders, you're firing him and his whole staff. He doesn't walk away for free. You got to pay him and his staff out and then turn around and hire an entire new staff. And I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that can happen financially for Colorado. So you paid him too early, like Russell Wilson, and now you're kind of stuck. I think they've painted themselves in a financial corner, and they may have to hold their nose in a way that they otherwise do not want to do and continue down the Deion experience, because it's going to be him who says, stop paying me $10 million a year over the next 3 years. I just don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, but I also think that it's just so convenient for people to just say over and over and over again that CU's poor. And they don't have any money, and let's just cry poor. There's still a major institution and a major university. Last time I checked, tuition ain't cheap up in Boulder. They have money. They can find money.
Well, the school is already bridging the gap for their financial losses right now. Like, the university itself is keeping the athletic department, and they're not the only one. I'm not saying this is only happening Boulder. This does happen around the country. But there's this thought, and there has been this thought, that well, even though CU's losing games, they're just making so much money. They're not. They're needing the university to keep them afloat. And I think if you're in that position, you're not in a position to write checks for $30 million for Deion Sanders to go away, pay out his staff for them to go away, and then to hire a whole new one. I'm telling you, this thing might be we have to stay together for the kids type scenario of a relationship.
Okay. It's funny to me that these universities worth hundreds of millions of dollars, maybe billions of dollars, all of a sudden when money, we don't have any money. We're just poor. We just don't have any money. I don't think they're having trouble keeping the lights on in Boulder.
Well, we'll see. We will see how this all unfolds here. Okay. Will we get another chapter of a story that is still being written, a dramatic story, all right, that has real relationships, real strife, real, I said agony of defeat, the thrill of victory. Like everything, all that stuff is rolled up in this Minnesota-Denver series that is going to be starting on Saturday. One, I can't wait. I'm coming out of my skin with excitement, and I'll be there and I'll be covering it. I'll be at every home game like I always am for these postseason games. But the layers of this story, going back to Tim Connolly, going back to the 2017-18 season where these two teams met in really the first meaningful game with stakes in Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray's career, game 82, winner goes to the postseason. That was like the OG play-in game. That was the OG play-in game. It was like loser goes home, winner goes to the postseason. I was doing this job those years back. That's how far back this Minnesota-Denver thing goes.
Yeah, and even, if we want to go even further back, Carmelo Anthony's first season in Denver, who did they play in the playoffs? Kevin Garnett, Sam Cassell, Latrell Sprewell, and the Minnesota Timberwolves. And yes, the Wolves won that series in 5, but people forget Denver had them on the ropes in Game 4 to make that a 2-2 series. That was an 8-1 matchup. And that was, a Minnesota team that was really trying to break through and win the whole thing, and many people thought they could, and ultimately they came up short.
I think they went to the Western Conference Finals and lost to the Lakers.
I believe so. So there's some real history there between these two.
There is. So you can go back to Game 82 in that 17-18 season. And I remember doing this job, and I was working with Stoke at the time, and I remember saying, dude, because I forget who was the 1 seed at the time, but whoever was going to be the 8 seed was going to get shot into the sun, which is typically the case, right? But I remember saying, with the phrase that you like, with the accumulation of scars in mind, I said the value of getting into the postseason and getting swept, there's value in that. Like, they need to win this game to get into the playoffs, experience what it feels like, sounds like, the intensity of it, the roller coaster nature of a 7-game series. And they had never experienced it. And they lost ultimately 112-106 in overtime. But that was Jokic's first, huge spotlight. The league's watching who's going to win this game. And Jokic went for all those years ago 35, 10, and 3. And that was like a sign of like, okay, he is a big game player. And obviously we've seen a million signs of that since then.
Yeah, definitely. It was really the first notion that he could be very special. We all knew he was good. And then you kind of got, oh, this guy could be special. And I remember, I think, tweeting at the time, over under 0.5 MVPs in the career of Nikola Jokic. And all these people came, what are you talking about? This dude's never going to win an MVP. No chance, under 0.5. Well, he's got 3, and he should have 4. Maybe should have 5, and really should be going for 6 in a row this year. So
agreed.
That take aged pretty well. It was that glimpse into, oh, he's not just good, he's special. And Yusuf Nurkic, we'll see you later because we're building our team around Nikola Jokic.
That's right. So this thing goes back nearly a decade. Then you go to the 2023 title season, all right? And the Nuggets locked horns with Minnesota, and Denver won in 5. Now they went on to beat who they beat in the second round, Phoenix, and then the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals, and the Heat in the finals. They go 16-4 on their way to a championship. But I remember after the smoke settled, the team basically admitting, kind of one by one in podcasts and different things, saying our toughest round was in the first round against Minnesota. So they escaped the Timberwolves in the title season. Then they circle back in the very next year where they're trying to go back-to-back. That's the 98-90 loss, up 20 points in the second half. The largest Game 7 lead blown in the history of NBA basketball was Denver to these Minnesota Timberwolves. And I remember sitting there watching this. I remember where I was sitting. I remember who I was sitting next to. It was Troy Rank at the time. And I remember at one point I'm talking to Troy and I'm watching this thing unravel to a degree that NBA fans had never seen. And Troy says, hey, just a heads up. He goes, I think the largest Game 7 blown lead was 18 points. And I'm going, holy smokes, no. And the longer the game went on, it just became abundantly clear that Denver didn't have it. They completely ran out of gas. And that was a really young Anthony Edwards and Minnesota team. And they just outlasted a team that was tapped out. And that's a scar on this franchise.
Oh, absolutely. Could have gone back to back for sure. There's no doubt about it. And you were in the building. I remember watching it, talking to folks that were there. It was that notion, I would say late third, early fourth. Oh my goodness, they're going to lose.
It was dread.
And it was dread, and it was sickening. And Nikola, for as great as he is, and I think he's the best basketball player on earth. I just got done saying he should have won 6 MVPs in a row. He was doing that thing where he was just shooting threes, Zach, and he was just shooting threes. And it was a tired basketball team, tired legs. Threes were coming up short left and right. Remember, Michael Malone snapped at that reporter post-game. I believe Bennett from the Denver Post. There was that really uncomfortable interaction because he knew that he just blew a chance to become a back-to-back winning head coach. That game, is that game the worst loss in Nuggets history? There's a lot of them.
Yes,
There's a lot of them, but
I would say yes.
I don't think it's hyperbolic to say that's the most heartbreaking loss in Denver Nuggets history.
Well, so obviously, disclaimer, I haven't been here for every loss. I've been here for about 10 years, or 9-10 years, and this past spring, 9 years. And so I've seen a lot of them. But I'll say this, like you might think, hey, what about Game 3 in the Western Conference Finals, I think it was, with Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah, the 09
Carter
team comes to mind for sure when they couldn't get the ball in bounds against the Lakers.
Yeah, but the difference between that team and the team that lost up 20 against Minnesota was the expectation was a championship. At that time back in 2009, and then every single year leading up to 2022-23 season, the team had never even appeared on the largest stage to get beat, let alone go win it all. And so to have just had a parade and be the favorite to go back and win it again like that, and then to have it as dramatic of a fashion that it fell, I think it's the front runner. I mean, if anyone out there has another nominee for worst loss in Denver Nuggets history, hit us up on the RamosLaw.com text line, 303-713-1043. I remember there was some teams in the 80s that had great shots that got banged up down the final stretch of the season and ended up losing to Magic and the Lakers. There's been a handful, but not when you wear the crown and you're the defending champion and you're on your home floor and you're up 20 in the second half, that is gutting. I almost don't even need to get nominees. That right there is, yes, it's the worst loss in the history of the franchise.
Yeah, no, I'm having trouble giving you any sort of pushback or rebuttal because even that 2009 team, I remember at the time the narrative was they were going to be a lightning in a bottle champion, which you don't see very often in the NBA. That's not usually how it works.
Almost never.
And if they had gotten past the Lakers, I do think they would have beaten the Orlando Magic, Rashard Lewis, Dwight Howard, Hedo Turkoglu.
Oh, yeah.
But that said, they still lost to the Lakers in 6. And they lost Game 6 at home in embarrassing fashion. They lost by like 30 or 40 points. Now, I was there that night. I was in the building, and Trevor Ariza was just pouring in threes left and right, and you knew they were done.
He was so good for the Lakers back then.
Yeah, everyone just assumed, Nuggets will win Game 6, and they'll go back to L.A. for Game 7. It just never happened. It wasn't their night. Of course, they couldn't inbounds the ball 2 different times earlier in that series. But, yeah, I can't sit here with a straight face and tell you, 2009 was worse because they lost in 6. It didn't even get to Game 7. In Game 6, they got blown out. So, yeah, it's probably the worst loss in Nuggets history, and in some senses, Zach, that game feels like it was yesterday. In others, it feels like it was a lifetime ago.
I agree.
Part of me is like, I vividly remember that collapse and that sickening, deep in your gut feeling that they were going to lose. But also, I can't believe it was 2 years ago. Part of me, it feels like that was 10 years ago.
A lot's happened since then.
But a lot of basketball, a lot of trades, fired a head coach, fired a GM.
I was just going to say, I'm glad that you went down that road because in some ways, because you got to remember, Tim Connolly, and we'll get to these other layers here because there's other human layers to this story, but Connolly had already left. Calvin Booth was in his second season as the head man here in Denver, all right? His first season was the championship year. Second season was that season where they had the 20-point lead and blew it in Game 7. But in some ways, that game and that dramatic unraveling was the beginning of the end for that iteration of the Nuggets as we knew it. And you convince yourself that, nope, this group can still go back and do it again, and you're in another Game 7 in the same round, and similarly to the game that you're recalling from, almost 20 years ago, the Nuggets weren't even close in Game 7.
No.
They weren't even close. And so it was a more than 30, I think it was 33 or 34 points, whatever it was. So now it brings you to this moment. And Tim Connolly is still running that organization who built these Nuggets. So you have human connectivity at the very top of the organization. Their head coach, Chris Finch, he coached under Michael Malone here in Denver. His top assistant, Mike Inori. Mike Inori was here for years in Denver, 2015, 16, 17, 18. He's now sitting next to Chris Finch there in Minnesota. And then you have this Bones Highland element. Bones Highland has become a factor for Minnesota, and we've seen it in the recent matchup where he actually took over a half. He had like 15 points in the first half. He's chirping. He was basically kicked off the team in Denver.
Yeah.
So
they made him fly commercial.
Yes.
They were so mad at him, they made him fly commercial, and then they traded him.
Yes. And he infamously tweets himself from the Clippers plane saying, this is how they treat you when they love you and all this stuff. And so you have this, again, like, we don't get rivalries a lot of times in present-day sports. We just don't. It's so... Whether you say it's transactional and transient, the players are always coming and going, so you don't have these deep-rooted this group against this group. But this time around, you can go back nearly 10 years to Game 82 against Minnesota. You can go back to the first round on the title run where they said that Minnesota was the toughest matchup. You can go back between the largest Game 7 lead blown in NBA history. You can talk about the connective tissue at the top of the organization with the guy who built the foundation for it here in Denver and is trying to get over the hump there. The head coach was here. His top assistant was here. A guard who's a contributor got kicked off the team. I mean, this is not just a rivalry. There's some drama to this thing.
Yeah, their stories are very intertwined. There's no doubt about it. And obviously, you say rivalries have trouble in the year 2026, and I tend to agree with you. But how do rivalries get built in sports? By playing in the playoffs over and over and over again.
Agreed.
And this will be the third time in 4 years that you've played Minnesota in the postseason.
Yeah.
What made the Avs and Red Wings so great back in the day? They played in the playoffs almost every single year. And, yeah, I would call it a rivalry right now. Like if you had to identify the Nuggets' number one rival, I think you can make a really strong case it's Minnesota. A lot of people are going to go toward the Lakers, and I get it, and I understand why, and how sweet it was to beat them 2 postseasons in a row, including a sweep in the Western Conference Finals. But it's certainly some sort of 1A, 1B with the Timberwolves and the Lakers.
In my humble opinion, if I were doing a power ranking of present-day rivalries, not 10 years ago, 20 years ago, right this second, it's Minnesota number 1, it's the Thunder number 2, and it's the Lakers number 3. the Nuggets really surpassed the Lakers here in the last, call it 4 years. They've really had their number. Now, it's ironic because the Lakers actually won more games against Denver this year and own the tiebreaker, but I'm saying big picture. When the Thunder and Nuggets get on the same floor together, they hate one another.
They do, but you got to beat them at some point.
Yeah, of course.
That's what makes Minnesota, maybe a better candidate because
this is a rubber match.
Exactly. You've beaten them 1 year to win a title. They ended your dreams of going back to back. Whereas the Thunder, you got to find a way to get over the top and beat them in a playoff series and let everyone know that it's not just going to be some sort of Oklahoma City dynasty that forms between our eyes because the Denver Nuggets still have Nikola Jokic and they still have something to say about it.
Yeah. Well, I'm fascinated by it, and there's so many elements to this series, okay? But I think if I were to boil it down, and I know sports and basketball doesn't work like this, but if you force me to boil it down to one question facing this team here in the first round, facing the Denver Nuggets in the first round, if I could boil it down to one question, are you tough enough?
Mentally?
Do you have the grit, mentally and physically?
Yeah.
This is a team that likes to beat you up. This is a team that likes to hound you full court. This is Anthony Edwards who looked into the camera after beating you on your home floor in Game 7 and said, I had Jamal in handcuffs. Are you tough enough? Do you have the grit that you found a way to unlock in 2023 that has been not as present here the last 2 years? It's going to take a lot to win a championship. But toughness for this Nuggets group specifically is right near the top of the list.
No, I think that's fair. I think it's absolutely fair. And obviously, the 12-game winning streak did them a lot of good. Because think about where we were at the day after they lost to Memphis, before this 12-game winning streak started. I was in here that day. I was sitting in your chair. I was with Phil. And I remember talking to Phil about how I was shocked how many people just said, I'm done with this team. I'm just done. It was that Memphis loss, for whatever reason, that so many people, and I'm talking like lifelong Nuggets fans.
It was a horrible loss. That's the worst of the season.
It was, but people were just jumping off the bandwagon left and right, and I think it goes back to toughness. They couldn't fly to Memphis for a makeup game and give a professional effort, and they lost to a terrible tanking Grizzlies team. But since then, a lot's changed. You win 12 in a row. I don't care the sport. I don't care the opponents. That's impressive. And that's what the Nuggets did to end their season. So I think the toughness is there. The key is going to be, Zach, if you lose game 1 or 2, you don't let it spiral. You can't let, the year we won the title, we won both games at home in all 3 Western Conference series. I understand they lost 1 here to the Heat and then went down and won 2 in Miami and recovered. But that's going to be my biggest thing. This isn't going to be a sweep. It's probably not going to be a gentleman's sweep. I think this series goes at least 6 games, if not 7. And if you're flying to Minnesota 1-1, can't be pouty, can't feeling sorry for yourself. You got to go find a way to win a game up there and take the home court advantage back. Because if they're not tough, then what's going to happen? You're going to be down 3-1 after 4 games.
Yeah.
And you're going to feel like, oh, baby, we are in big, big trouble. So that's where I'll be curious. I'm not predicting that they're going to lose one of the first 2, but it wouldn't shock anyone if this thing's 1-1 going back to Minnesota.
No, we got to remember, when the Nuggets lost in Game 7, you remember how that series started?
Yeah, the road team won like every game.
They were down 0-2.
Mm-hmm.
They were down 0-2. And if I were to isolate what's the biggest difference, because there's a lot has changed for both teams. No Karl Anthony Towns in Minnesota now. I think that's a big deal. Now Julius Randle, I mean, he's a load too. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, right? No longer. That's a big deal. But if I were to isolate the biggest difference between the Game 7 loss when they were up 20 to right now, it's Jamal Murray. It's Jamal Murray. That was the series where he was throwing the heat pack. That was the series he was leaving the arena before talking to media, only to come back the next day and practice, or 2 days later, and basically get on the media and come at the media because, man, that happened 2 days ago. Like, why are you guys even talking about that? It was like because you bailed on anything after the game, and you look at him in that Game 2 loss in the second round, 8 points. Game 1, 17 points. Game 4, this is from Jamal, 19 points. Game 5, 16 points. Game 6, 10 points. That means in 5 of the first 6 games of that series, Jamal Murray failed to get to 20 points. It's an entirely different new version of Jamal Murray. And so I am very optimistic. I haven't really started talking about how I feel about this series. Will, I am feeling not just hopeful, big picture, but I'm feeling very optimistic about this first round specifically. I like where Denver's at. I hope I'm right. And at the top of the list of reasons why I like, and there's several others we'll talk about through the rest of the week, but at the top of the list why I am so optimistic is the version of Jamal Murray, present day. Man, it couldn't be more different than the low of that second round that he put forth.
Yeah, he's the ultimate X factor. There's no doubt about it, because you're right. Think about the roller coaster that Jamal Murray's been on. Guy wins an NBA title, top of the world. He was the perfect Robin to Jokic's Batman. He has a triple-double to go along with Nikola in a game against the Miami Heat. And then there was a stretch there. And I don't know what happened. I don't know Jamal personally. I've interviewed him a handful of times, but I don't know the guy. There was a stretch there where it looked like he was content with one ring.
Definitely.
And one title.
Definitely.
And I think as Nuggets fans, that was alarming. Like, wow, this dude just got one ring, and he got, it's an expression, but fat and happy. He was content with his ring.
Yeah.
Something's changed in Jamal. And I don't know if it was the firing of Michael Malone that woke him up or what it was. But Jamal looks back to that stone-cold killer he was when they won the title and no longer content with one ring. And that's why I like you bringing him up as the biggest X factor in this series.
All right. Really fun conversation ahead of a really fun series. The branches off this tree, they are plentiful. And we plan on talking about all those branches throughout the week, but a really fun start. If you want to react to that conversation in any way, you can hit us up on the RamosLaw.com text line, 303-713-1043. All right, we can debate sports coast to coast about a million things, but one thing cannot be debated when it comes to one team in Colorado sports. We'll get to it next.
Get ready, Broncos country. This is the event you've been waiting for. Join Peyton Manning, Emmanuel Sanders, Von Miller, DeMarcus Ware, Aqib Talib, TJ Ward, and Coach Gary Kubiak as they reunite to relive their legendary Super Bowl 50 run. It's Night of Champions, a live, unforgettable show packed with stories, memories, and a behind-the-scenes look at one of the greatest seasons in NFL history. And Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan wants you to be there. Enter now for your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets at DenverSports.com/champions. Don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime night with the heroes of Super Bowl 50.
2026 is shaping up to be an amazing year to buy a home in Colorado. If you've been dreaming about getting into your first place, upgrading for more space, or downsizing for a simpler lifestyle, now is a smart time to start planning. And the first step is easy. Get pre-approved. With American Financing, you can get it done in 24 hours or less, so you'll know exactly what you can afford before you start shopping. Rates have been dropping, home prices are steady, and more homes are hitting the market. You could score the right home at the right price and lock in a monthly payment that fits your budget without stretching yourself thin. And unlike renting, every payment you make goes toward your future, not your landlord's. And here's a misconception we'd love to bust. You do not need 20% down. Many buyers purchase with as little as 3% down. So if home ownership is on your 2026 goals list, let's make it happen. Call American Financing, Colorado's home for home loans, at 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000, or visit them online at AmericanFinancing.net. NMLS 182334, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Progressive presents a guided meditation.
Hear the birds sing. A chipmunk nibbling on an acorn. Smell the pine needles gently falling into your living room as the breeze blows through the gaping hole in your roof. Gaze up at that broken tree branch and relax, because you bundle your home and auto with Progressive and have the peace of mind of 24/7 protection. So relaxing.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Help DEA keep our communities safe and healthy by participating in National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, April 25th. Take action right in your own home by cleaning out your medicine cabinet of unneeded medications. Keep them safe, clean them out, take them back. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent prescription drug misuse before it starts. That's DEATakeback.com.
Running a small business means juggling a lot. Your network has to handle it all. That's where a fiber-only provider falls short. You need a partner who gives you a greater advantage. Introducing the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A first-ever combination of the largest, fastest fiber-powered network, the most reliable Wi-Fi, gig speeds with equipment and security included, and a 5-year price lock. Plus, it's all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. The Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A new standard for small business with reliability, security, and savings in one. Switch today. Get started with a great offer as low as $60 a month. When you add it all up, no one does business like Comcast Business.
Offer ends 6/1/26. New customers only. Requires 300 megabits per second internet and security edge. 1-year agreement, eco-bill, and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Annie's first oil change wasn't as hard as she thought because she went to AutoZone, where a friendly AutoZoner helped her find the right oil and save on an oil filter. He explained the job and showed her free how-tos on AutoZone.com. When she was done, AutoZone recycled her old oil for free. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Cecil Lammy here for my friends at windownation.com. Listen, in Colorado, we get different types of weather all the time. So whether your cold air is escaping or your warm air is escaping, your windows are likely to blame. And getting top quality custom fit windows from Window Nation is easy and affordable. And during the More You Buy, the More You Save sale, you could save up to 50% off. Plus, you could get them with 0 interest for 5 years. During these uncertain times, one of the best investments you can make is in your home. So visit windownation.com now to book a consultation.
Your roof's the single most important part of your house. Snow and high winds can damage your roof. Don't trust your roof to any fly-by-night roofing companies. Call the professionals at Golden Spike for a free roof inspection and tell them you heard about it on The Fan. They're a locally owned company and a Team Dave Logan member.
Call Golden Spike Roofing when your roof needs a fix. 303-942-1386. Golden Spike Roofing.
When the dollar's convertibility into gold ended in 1971, gold was fixed at $35 an ounce. Fast forward to today, and the U.S. dollar has lost over 85% of its purchasing power. Meanwhile, gold has increased in value by over 12,000%. Central banks are buying gold at record levels. Major firms are holding significant positions in gold. And I choose to buy gold from Birch Gold Group. Stan Bongino, and it all starts with education. Birch Gold just announced their Learn and Earn Precious Metals event. This free online event rewards you for learning the basics of investing in precious metals. Sign up to get free silver on your next purchase if you qualify. And you can get even larger incentives as you go. The more you learn, the more you can earn. But act now. This special event only runs through April 30th, so text my name Dan to the number 989898 to join Birch Gold's Learn and Earn Precious Metals event by April 30th. Text Dan to 989898 today. Message and data rates may apply.
This segment on 104.3 The Fan, powered by the Colorado Lottery. Play on.
Want to partake in our contests? Check out the rules at DenverSports.com. Every day at 3:30, the drive comes off the top rope to hit you with a 1, 2, 3.
Finally, The Rock has come back to Denver.
Tape your wrists, stretch your spandex, and oil your hair. Here's Zach and Phil with today's 3 count on the drive.
All right, let's come off the top rope with it. 1. All right, hanging out with you on a Monday, bottom half of hour number 2. Will Peterson filling in for Phillip Lindsay today. So I said going into the last break that we can debate sports coast to coast about a million different things. It's probably closer to a billion different things. But one thing cannot be debated when it comes to one team in Colorado sports, and really it's a program. The Denver Pioneers men's hockey team is a dynasty. The most dominant men's hockey program in the history of the sport. They defeat Wisconsin 2-1 on Saturday in comeback fashion to claim their 11th national championship. No one has more than 9. That's Michigan. All right. A 3rd championship in 5 years. man, this is you just have to take your hat off and just appreciate the dominance that we're seeing.
Yeah, the greatness of DU hockey, and I'm never going to bandwagon gatekeep. I know a lot of people who jump on the bandwagon this time of year, and it's always a fun, magical ride. And for whatever reason with this team, even in Vegas in the Frozen Four, 2 games you could argue they got outplayed in, they found a way. And that just, to me, sums up the Denver Pioneers hockey program. They're always finding a way. Their resiliency is unbelievable. When they were down 1-0 after 40 minutes, I wasn't panicked. I wasn't worried. I wasn't nervous. 5 shots through 2 periods. That's not a lot of shots.
That's insane.
But for whatever reason, deep in my gut, I felt like they were going to pull it out. I think I told you a little earlier, I thought it was going to go to overtime at 1-1. The fact they just straight up won it in the third period
Crazy.
Was so impressive. Congratulations to the Pios. And now I think my $1 million question, which NHL team is going to throw a massive bag at David Carl?
I knew you were going to say that, man. And what poise on that dude. You know, he reminds me of Bednar in some ways. First, he's just got a great look, and Bednar's got a great look. And the Italian tailored suits and the hair, but he's just cool as a cucumber.
Mm-hmm.
You know, wins a national championship, and it's almost like, you know, he's doing the post-game interview, and his heartbeat is just steady, you know, and it's just, I have so much admiration for David Carl, and if he does go to an NHL team, like, hard to go. You know what I mean? If that's what you want to do, it's hard to do and pack into what he's done in the time that he's done it. I marvel at it. The guy got the job I think in 2018, and if you said when he's getting hired on, hey, you're gonna walk away with 3 natties in 3 and 5 years,
you sign up for that all day.
Goodness gracious! And then this kid, Johnny Hicks, just a legendary performance. Legendary. This guy is the answer to a trivia question for the rest of the time. He ends up stopping 29 shots against the Badgers. Frozen Four most outstanding player. He wasn't even announced the most outstanding player. They were on the ice doing the postgame. Like, we don't have the results yet, but I'm just going to tell you right now, this is the most outstanding player. That dude was absolutely nails.
He was unreal. And you look at his size, he's not a big guy
5'10",
at all.
it says.
Yeah, I think
Pretty
he's
sure.
5'10", like a $170.
Yeah.
I mean, Johnny Hicks is famous now, but Johnny Hicks walking around the DU campus before, he just looks like a frat bro at DU. And instead, he's literally helping them steal a national title, and I say that with all due respect. But they did steal a national championship, highway robbery. So good for him, good for the Pios, and yeah, you're right. Carl, Hicks, they're definitely the 2 stars in my eyes.
Man, congrats, Pios.
1, 2.
How much of the Masters did you watch? These 2 things were happening almost at the same time. What did you make of the Masters?
Yeah, I mean, Sunday, obviously, I was completely locked in on the Masters. Didn't need to go see your Rockies get broomed.
You're so funny. We'll get to him.
Yeah. Crowding the Rockies after a 6-6 start. I
Crowding
loved
them? Like, literally audibly saying, we're not... We'll get to it.
Okay, regardless, I watched 6 hours of golf yesterday, Zach, as I assume most people did. It was a melt into the couch kind of Sunday with the Masters on, and it's just crazy to me. Rory was at 12 on Friday night. Rory won the tournament at 12 on Sunday night. He was great, but also Scotty's putt on 17, an inch away. You knew if Scotty could get to 12 that he had a real shot. 11 wasn't going to do it. Even with Rory's drive on 18, double bogey maybe came into play a little bit there. But Rory's awesome. He's very likable, very easy to root for. I was just bummed that the guy was at 12 under on Friday and won the tournament at 12 under on Sunday. What I'll remember most about these Masters is other guys coming up short. And I'm talking about Justin Rose. Had a real shot. Kind of melted down. You feel for Justin Rose. Cameron Young couldn't make a putt down the stretch to save his life. Even Scotty. Scotty's got to be kicking himself for a bad Friday when he had an early tee time, or else he could have gotten another green jacket. So I'm not trying to take anything away from Rory, but to me the tournament was more about what other guys couldn't do and put the pressure on Rory.
I can't get there with you. I agree with Scotty shooting, I think it was a 74
he had like an
Friday.
8 a.m. tee time, and that's perfect to go out and shoot a 66.
Yeah. Rory, though, puts himself in a category that, I want to talk about it. Like, where does this guy now rank? I mean, he's the 4th ever back-to-back Masters champion. And he's got access to the course. And he said, I blocked out like the last 2-3 weeks. He played Augusta over and over. I mean, what an advantage. Seriously, what an advantage as a guy who does have a green jacket to go play the course, for all intents and purposes, as often as you'd like.
Did he see Stoke down there?
I'm not sure if he saw Stoke. Not sure he saw Stoke, but it was one of these things where, like, okay, man, this guy's now in rarefied air. He really is. Like, is he top what all time. Top 10 has to be.
Yeah, it's got to be top 10, and your mind could probably make a case that he's top 5.
I think the case is tangible. It's there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Tiger, Arnie, Jack, those are going to be people's top 3. But is Rory the 4th best golfer we've ever seen?
I mean,
he could be.
It's got to be a conversation. I mean, this guy, just goodness gracious, what a career he is putting together. All right, finally in the 3 count.
1, 2, 3.
All right, I should probably spend more time on this. But first round matchups in the NBA playoffs. First round matchups. What's the most entertaining first round matchup in the? And I want to put this out to either Dante or Drew if you guys want to address it as well. What is the most entertaining matchup in the first round of the NBA playoffs?
Well, it's definitely Nuggets and Wolves. I think we're in the thick of it here in Denver. It's the series I'm most looking forward to, and I think nationally it's the best first round series there is.
I think so too. Like Houston and the Lakers, that's being put in the primetime slot, which really belongs to Denver and Minnesota. I understand it's Durant, it's LeBron. It's probably the last time for putting together a TV show. But, Cleveland, Toronto, we don't know who the top seeds are going to play yet. The play-in is going to unfold. The Knicks and the Hawks. I actually think it's our series here in Denver. Any pushback on that, Drew? No, you agree. Dante, you agree as well?
Yeah, I agree with that too. I think there's an argument made for whoever the Celtics play in the first round on the other side. It'll either be the 76ers or the Magic. I think both of those teams have the capability at least to take down the Celtics, and we don't really know what the Celtics are yet, so I think that'll end up being a pretty good one on the Eastern side.
Yeah, I'll watch them all, but if I had to pick one, not just saying it because we're sitting here doing this job in Denver, the best matchup of the first round is this rivalry, Minnesota and Denver. All right, and that's, by the way, 1:30 in the afternoon. It's going to be on Prime Video. I forget how that impacts us here locally.
It's all good. Like, if you watch Thursday Night Football, you have Prime Video. That's where you watch TNF this year.
No, I'm saying, like, in terms of, is it on locally? I don't think it's on here locally. I don't think, like, you're going to be able to flip on Altitude and watch this.
But they let them broadcast the first round, technically.
I think this is the first year.
I'm agreeing with you, but, like, Chris Marlowe will call a first-round game at some point, would be my understanding. Drew's telling me in my ear, no. So Marlowe's done?
So it's the first year of the new agreement where local TV does not have the first round anymore.
Oh, that's crazy. You go on this 82-game journey and you don't even get a call around?
Doesn't feel right.
No.
No.
Oh, well, thanks for correcting me. I didn't know that.
Well, I'm sure there are a bunch of people out there hearing this for the first time being like, wait, what? I'm not just going to be able to flip on my TV the way that I have for every regular season game? So, okay, sign of the times for sure. Okay, a bit of a complicated weekend for the Avs, and we'll talk about why next.
Denver. Playoffs are coming, and the Mile High City is ready to rise. On the ice, the Burgundy and Blue are gearing up for another run at the Cup. Fast, fierce, and built for postseason battle. And on the hardwood, Jokic and his crew are locked in and hungry to retake the crown. 2 teams, 1 city, 1 mission, championship glory. Stay locked in all postseason long as Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan keeps you plugged into every goal, every dunk, every heart-pounding moment from the teams that make this city roar. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan, Denver's playoff headquarters.
What's going on, everybody? Phillip Lindsay here. And if you're dealing with joint pain and joint pain is holding you back, then hear me out right now. You need to go see my friends at Regen RX in Denver because they're on another level. They don't just do guesswork. They build a real plan for you. Wharton's jelly for joint pain, shockwave therapy to get the blood flow back going again, and they're going to sit you down and give you a 6-month booster to keep your results feeling elite. And the best part about this is their consultation is completely free. You heard me, it's free, no risk. If you're dealing with degenerative joints or long-term pain, see if their stem cell therapy is the right move for you. It's about quality of life, guys. Staying explosive, staying active, staying present for your family. So you need to give my friends at Regen RX a call today at 303-630-9770, or you can visit them online at regenrx.co. Again, that's regenrx.co, and let them know that Phillip Lindsay sent you.
Hi there, I'm Kim Rudell, owner of Wills and Wellness Estate Planning. We're already into the second quarter of the year. If you're still procrastinating doing your estate plan, it's time to up your game and get organized. We can help you design your will, trust, guardianship, powers of attorney, and medical directives. Whether this is your first time creating a plan or you just need a refresh, we can help. Find us at willsandwellness.com or give us a call at 720-266-8190.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Zach here for 5280 Exteriors. Have you heard of something called WUI compliance or Wildland Urban Interface? It's a new statewide standard in Colorado. Starting this year, every home will be assigned a fire risk category. Some building departments will begin enforcing WUI rules, so your next siding, decking, roofing, or window project may come with new requirements. Call 5280 Exteriors today, and they'll walk you through the updates, help you stay compliant, and find out what zone you're in. 5280 Exteriors, the altitude of quality.
It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
Soda weight loss is state of the art. You've heard me say that for years and years now. Why? Because it's so true. And SodaDietNutrition.com is the website you need to go to, or call them up, 1-866-800-SODA. Listen, I lost 60 pounds a few years ago with SodaDietNutrition.com, and I'm never going back. Haven't gained the weight back. Why? Because I know how to eat, what to eat, and when to eat. All thanks to my friends at Soda Weight Loss. Soda Diet and Nutrition. You can join Soda for a short time to have results that last a lifetime. Join now, and your partner joins free. It's 2 people with real accountability for the price of 1. Online, SodaDietNutrition.com, or call them up, 1-866-800-SODA. And just having that real nutritionist, having that program in place to help you lose the weight, it means everything. And right now, when your partner can join for free, with you get 2 people, real accountability, the price of 1, it's a no-brainer. SodaDietNutrition.com is where you need to go. Soda Diet Nutrition, they're state of the art.
Sex, intimacy, love. These 3 things are critical to a good relationship, and that's the problem with erectile dysfunction. It often destroys sexual enjoyment and intimacy. It stresses the love between partners, often to the breaking point. This is Jeff for the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, and if you're suffering with ED, you likely know exactly what I'm talking about. But I also want you to know that ED doesn't have to impact your relationship anymore. At the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, we're ED experts with our focus on men's sexual health. We've treated tens of thousands of men and have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. I promise you, if you're like most guys, you can get your sex life back, perhaps even performing like you haven't in years. So if ED is affecting you, it's time to get back to better sex, better intimacy, and deeper love. Call us. Just $99 gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 720-440-7900 or go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com.
Dental phobia? Consider sedation dentistry with Clarkson Dental. Their highly trained team will lead you through an exceptional dental experience, from that first fearful call all the way through to aftercare. Call the most experienced sedation dentist and staff. Clarkson Dental, ColoradoSedation.com.
Listen up, Denver. This hour's keyword is penalty. PENALTY. Text penalty to 303-713-1043 right now, and you could win a $50 Dick's Sporting Goods gift card and qualify for the $1,000 grand prize. That's penalty to 303-713-1043.
By texting, you agree to receive an automated marketing message from Denver Sports 1043 The Fan. Message and data rates may apply. For complete rules or to enter the keyword online, visit www.denversports.com/keyword.
It's The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay on Denver Sports 1043 The Fan.
Bit of a complicated weekend for the Avalanche. And you can just start with the head coach taking a puck to the face. facial fractures, corneal abrasion. You never want corneal abrasion on your resume. I mean, goodness gracious, his right cheek. I'm surprised it doesn't happen more. They're like targets sitting there standing up over the bench, but that was not a pretty sight. Not going to accompany the team on this 2-game roadie. It'll be Nolan Pratt and Dave Hackstall, assistants, that will coach the team here.
Yeah, scary situation with Jared Bednar. There's no doubt about it. He's as tough as nails, but frozen rubber stops for no one, Zach. And frozen rubber caught him right on the side of the face. You hear corneal abrasion, and you're just worried about his vision. What's that like right now? Does he have blurring in one eye? Hopeful to get more updates on that. Facial fractures as well. I mean, he's got to be pretty beat up and bruised right now. Obviously, we won't see Jared Bednar in front of a camera for at least a handful of days, so hopefully he has some time to heal. But, man, in a year that has had some injuries, I didn't have the head coach suffering a bad one on my bingo card as well, and I think it's very smart that they left him in Denver, get treatment. You've got the President's Trophy locked up. No reason at all for Jared Bednar to go to Canada for these next couple of games.
No, not at all. He probably hasn't been hit in the face like that going back to since his Rochester Americans AHL days. So there's that. He's going to be fine big picture long term, thankfully. The Avs lose in overtime 3-2. Not really worried about it, but what is very much on my radar, man, is getting through the last week of this season in good health. And we saw Nazem Kadri get banged up last week. Josh Manson, valuable defenseman, leaves the game with an upper body injury. Man, I'll be holding my breath here for these last few games.
Oh, absolutely. There's no question about it. Cale Makar's not going to play tonight again either. And obviously we've heard that if it was a playoff game, Cale would be playing and Nazem would be playing. Not so sure we have that kind of update on Josh Manson yet. But that said, why is Nathan McKinnon in Edmonton? Why is Gabriel Landeskog in Edmonton? Devon Toews, Arturi Lehkonen, Valeri Nichushkin?
See, here's the thing.
I would have just left these guys at home, man.
Well, I understand why you would say that. And in theory, it makes sense. But in practice, there's a problem. You just can't promote a bunch of Colorado Eagles and leave all these guys home because you're now over the salary cap. So you have to be judicious with the way that you handle these guys. Time on the ice is the fourth line, now the first line, and really flatten those numbers. You're going to have to get creative with it. Or like sit guys a la carte. Like, you two guys are down for this game. You other two guys are down for this game. Because I'm like you. I don't want to see these guys. I don't need to see these guys. And it smacks of a quick history lesson that a final game of 2003-2004 season, Paul Kariya was playing his best hockey of that year, sprains his ankle, out indefinitely, missed the entire first round against the Dallas Stars, comes back for Game 6 in the second round against San Jose, and that ends their season. He played in one game. They didn't get out of the second round, and he was a big part, Paul Kariya, of what they were doing a little over 20 years ago. I'm just nervous, and you can't bubble wrap them all, but I'm just nervous that something is going to happen, and it already has, but something's going to happen to one of these frontline guys that's going to spook the hell out of me.
Yeah, and that's why I was so thankful when I saw today that Kadri and Makar aren't playing. There's no reason to play Nazem Kadri and Cale Makar tonight against the Oilers. Look, I'll watch this game because we get paid to watch these games, and I'll be curious about it. But, Zach, if they lose 6-2 and no one gets hurt, great. I don't care. The points mean nothing. You won the President's Trophy. You got the number one seed in the West. You've won the Central Division. You make Dallas and Minnesota play in round one. I would much rather they lose by 3 or 4 goals tonight than they somehow win, but we get a key injury.
Of course. So we'll be monitoring that above really anything else. Your guy, Marty Necas, are you going to congratulate him on getting to 99 points?
Yeah, he's had a great year. There's no doubt about it.
Phenomenal.
He's been very, very solid playing alongside Nathan McKinnon.
Very solid. Will, stop it. Stop it. I'm not going to. I'm poking fun at you.
Did I insult him? I called him solid.
It's been a solid. It's been a great year. In fact, post All-Star break, I'm not sure the two best players in this sport have been Nikita Kucherov and Marty Necas. I mean, obviously, I'm giving you a hard time. He's been that good, and to be sitting on 99, which it's been a career high. Career high in points was like 3 weeks ago. He's tied for 6th in points right now. The guy has just been. I mean, whatever. Like,
we got to see it in the playoffs, though, Zach. You know that.
Of course. But if
that's been the knock on him throughout his career.
Look, I just watched the guy be arguably the best player at the Olympics playing for Czechia, literally nearly beat Team Canada, if you remember. It took that third period for Team Canada to try to slow him down and knock off Czechia. I think he's going to be fine. Yes, it goes without saying. He's got to prove in the playoffs. But the playoffs aren't here now. The regular season's here now, and the guy's been great with the capital G.
Yeah, no, he has. He's been very solid for the Avs this year.
Stop it. Just stop it.
I think him getting paid was huge, right? Like, in all seriousness, that sort of – wasn't there a line in the sand of, like, Nate just elevated his play right when he got the contract? Like, I think he finally felt settled. We had heard some of the rumblings about the trade and maybe not being particularly thrilled with it when it first happened, but he knows he's going to live in Denver for the next 7-8 years of his life. He's going to play for the Avalanche. He's going to make a lot of money, and yes, he has elevated his play to I'll use the word excellent, to an excellent level.
Thank you.
Since he got the contract from the Colorado Avalanche.
Look at you acting like an adult here on a Monday. Proud of you. All right.
It was never Marty's fault. You know that.
Of course it wasn't Marty's fault.
It was just
But your tone sounded oftentimes like it was Marty's fault.
No, Mikko was beloved, and I thought...
And he still is and always will be.
People trying to make Mikko a villain on the way out the door was lame.
Well, that wasn't me. I can promise you that. Just a fan of Marty. Doesn't have to be one or the other. Be a fan of both of them. All right. After an unexpectedly hot start, the Rockies came back down to earth. Typical struggles in San Diego or a real sign of what's to come? That's next.
Denver stands on top once again. The DU Pioneers are national champions, bringing home their third title in 5 years. Score! Powered by grit, defined by championship DNA. Congratulations to the Pios, college hockey's gold standard. Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Kwiat Diamonds, a legacy of brilliance since 1907.
We're proud at Williams Jewelers of Inglewood to have been chosen as Colorado's exclusive Kwiat diamond jeweler.
From Kwiat's Mine to Shine diamond, the natural diamond cut, polished, and designed just for you.
To Kwiat's red carpet collections of designer jewelry, including American Beauty, Lyric, and Kwiat Star. They're all here.
Kwiat diamond rings and diamond studs, Kwiat diamond bracelets, and Riviera necklaces have long been the toast of Fifth Avenue.
Because Kwiat's whiter, brighter, and larger-looking diamonds cut to the world's highest standards.
I'm Dylan Williams. Shayna and I invite you to come experience the breathtaking beauty of Kwiat diamond jewelry for yourself.
Or the one you love.
For the American beauty in your life.
At Williams Jewelers of Inglewood, Colorado's exclusive Kwiat jeweler.
Where Colorado shines.
Williams Jewelers, we can make diamonds a part of your life.
Williams Jewelers, the official jeweler of the Colorado Avalanche.
Mike Rowe here with a random fact. More than half of the homes that have basements in North America will experience water damage. It's true. Whether it's basement moisture, flooding, or bowing walls, do yourself a favor. Call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys. They're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to waterproof your basement and stabilize your walls. Schedule a free inspection with Groundworks, the foundation and waterproofing experts.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Hey, it's Mike Evans. Let's talk about your hair. If you're losing it and desire it back, then do what I did and go see Dr. Tanya Pauls at Advanced Hair Restoration. Their simple one-day treatment offers life-changing results that I can personally attest to. Guys, it's not magic, but close to it. They put hair where you need it the most, and bam, it grows. It's actually science. Advanced Hair has it all. Top-rated Dr. Tanya Pauls, modern technology, and best of all, you get your very own natural hair that begins regrowing the very next day. Advanced Hair even guarantees it to grow for life. So schedule your free consultation today. Call 720-459-HAIR and you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. That's 720-459-HAIR. Advanced Hair is the winner of Westward's Best of Denver, and they've changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. Become inspired with the before and afters at advancedhair.com. That's advancedhair.com.
When you've been serving Colorado as long as I have, you see a lot of new law firms come and go. Many of them aren't even from here. They don't know Colorado law the way we do. I'm Rob Wilhite of the Wilhite Law Firm. For 47 years, we've been fighting and winning for Coloradans. This is our home. We care about our community, and we care about the safety of every resident who lives here. So if you've been injured and need real Colorado experience on your side, call the Wilhite Law Firm, 303-GOOD-LAW. The Wilhite Law Firm. Experience you can trust, results you can count on.
The #1 draft pick this spring is the Carrier Infinity System, keeping you comfortable year-round. With unmatched reliability, innovation, and efficiency, Carrier products deliver premium home comfort solutions for whatever the Colorado weather brings. From heating and cooling to healthier indoor air and full control with the touch of a button, Carrier is the expert in home comfort with over 120 years of changing how we live, work, and play. Visit CarrierColorado.com to find a local Carrier expert and feel the comfort. Carrier, turn to the experts.
The Chase Ink Business Premier Card is made for people who make things happen, like me. I'm Sam, founder and CEO of Manifest, a product design company that makes everyday products designed smarter. I get 2.5% cash back on purchases of $5,000 or more, plus unlimited 2% cash back on all other purchases, which helps us make more smart ideas into a brilliant reality.
The Ink Business Premier Card. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
From posters and presentations to labels and loyalty cards, Staples has all the print to boost your brand. Shop now in-store or you can shop online. Staples, that was easy.
KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. Powered by Regen RX. It's The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan presents.
Start. The Rockies came back down to earth. Typical struggles in San Diego, or a real sign of things to come? What already was, what wasn't through the first 2 weeks, but what is definitely coming. We'll talk about it. Will Peterson filling in for Phillip Lindsay today. I don't know how much you caught of this over the weekend. It was a very, very busy sports weekend. From the DU stuff to the Masters, Nuggets and Avs were both still playing. So I don't know where this was on your list of priorities, but I'll kind of summarize it like this, okay? I'll kind of summarize it like this. Game number 1 we talked about on Friday, okay? It was a 7-3 loss for the Rocks, but it was super competitive. It was scoreless. For a while, but it goes into extra innings, and I think it was the 12th. I want to say it was the bottom of the 12th. Rocks lose. Okay, it was Xander Bogaerts, grand slam. Game 2 on Friday night, a 5-2 Padres. Another late collapse for Colorado. I watched this. It was painful. Gavin Sheets hits a 3-run walk-off home run. So that is, by my count, the 3rd time the Rocks have been walked off on the final pitch through the first 2.5 weeks of the season. Game 3, Padres win 9-5. Rockies were actually up 4-0 in this one, led by Mickey Moniak's 2 home runs, not 1 but 2. And Padres come storming back. They win 9-5. And then Sunday, the afternoon game, it was 7-2 Padres. Rockies managed just 2 hits, struck out a whopping 12 times. That's been a theme. Kyle Freeland was scratched late, shoulder soreness. And so the Rockies had to pitch a bullpen game beginning with Jimmy Herget as the opener. So that's how those, because I know people are busy. You probably didn't sit there and watch it all. I didn't, but I watched a bunch of it. That's pretty much the microwave version of what happened over the weekend.
Yeah, San Diego brought out the broom, swept the Rockies. You're right. Those first couple games were competitive. Lose on walk-off home runs back-to-back nights. That's kind of rip your heart out. The third game, they probably should have won, and they sort of fell apart down the stretch after the early lead. And then yesterday, your mind just immediately goes, oh, no, with Kyle Freeland. You feel bad for him. He had been great. He was excellent in his first 3 starts. And see him getting scratched, hopefully nothing to see here, but it's still April. And if Kyle's already having shoulder soreness, then it may be something we have to monitor all year long with him. And he's getting older. I still feel like his debut was just yesterday, but that was a decade ago.
I know.
Kyle's the seasoned vet on this pitching staff. So, yeah, but here's the thing, Zach. They're now on pace for 100 losses. They're 6-10. I thought the conversation got a little bit hyperbolic and a little bit too excited through 12 games. I just did. That was my personal opinion. They were 6-6. I guarantee even in their bad years, they've had 12-game stretches where they've gone 6-6. It's baseball.
Not in April. Not in this window of time.
They've had hot Aprils before and then June swoons.
No, I'm saying no, of course they have, but I'm saying in this historically bad where the bottom falls out and you're going for potentially a 100-loss season for a fourth year in a row. That hasn't happened since, the Washington Senators in the 60s. In this era of horrible,
Didn't you get a little too excited about 6-6?
No,
I think I'm calling you out here a little bit.
No.
That I felt like you got a little too excited about a 6-6 stretch.
Nope, I was reacting to what was in front of me and was so emphatic and selective with my words, going out of my way.
Oh, competent and competitive.
That's right.
Is it competitive to lose 100 games, what they're now on pace for?
Well, I wasn't predicting what was going to happen and would once again frame it that way over and over and setting expectations, saying, I'm not telling you what's to come. No one's crowning the Rockies and saying stuff like they may lose 30 in a row starting tomorrow, but being where your feet are right now, we have asked for competitive and competent. That's what we got. And when you do this job, reacting day to day, right? Everything can't be just big picture every day when the team is winning some games in front of you. So I was, and I made sure to say this, picking up the option and these are all nearly quotes, allowing myself to be excited for the moment. I do not regret that, and I will be receptive to confident and competitive baseball moving forward, even beyond this 6-10 start, if that's what they give me.
Okay. I just think this is who the Rockies are. They're going to lose around 100 baseball games.
Well, last year they lost, what was it, 133? So
it wasn't that many, was it? Wasn't it like 119 or something?
Or was it 119?
Yeah.
43 wins, whatever that equals. Yeah. So, like, if they lose 100 games and they go 62 and 100, what kind of improvement is that year over year?
It's a 19-game improvement.
That would be probably the biggest in Major League Baseball. Now, you're coming from the lowest depths. We all understand that. Dante, you got something for Will real quick?
Yeah, well, I just want to point out that Will's playing the pace game as they're 6-10. People on the other side weren't playing the pace game when they were 6-6. People weren't saying, oh, this team's going to be 500 at the end of the year.
That's true.
No one on this radio station, but there were people out there that were legitimately talking about wild card team and Rocktober and this and that. And it's like, guys,
not from anyone. I didn't hear that.
Down. They went 6-6 over a 12-game stretch, and people were planning the parade.
Stop it! I didn't hear any of that.
No, I saw it.
Well, that wasn't for. I guess I only speak for myself, and I don't hear and see everything. But I was allowing myself to be excited based on what I was seeing, but also when it came to the big picture conversations, man, being measured. We know what this operation is, and we talked about it on Friday, and I felt guilty saying it to Phil. I said, look, if this thing continues, and I said it's way premature, but if they stay competent and competitive and you're getting near the trade deadline, like, we know this team's not going anywhere in actuality. You may have to do some things that like improve the organization, that help the farm system. Maybe that involves Kyle Freeland, Antonio Sensatella, fill in the blank veteran player to a potential contender, because the Rockies are not. But yes, I was allowing myself to react to the games. You apparently weren't reacting to the games.
I just wasn't going to allow myself to get excited because I've been burned so many times by this organization and this franchise. And what happened over the weekend? They got swept. They're 6-10. They're probably going to go to Houston, probably get swept by the Astros. And the next time they throw a pitch at 20th and Blake, they'll be 7 or 8 games under 500.
Maybe so. And really, that's the most likely scenario, I think, right? But if that doesn't happen, that scenario that you just sort of predicted, if that doesn't happen, say they go and take 2 or 3 from Houston. Will you, at what point, I guess this is my larger question, instead of like in the trenches with the team, what would have to happen for you to be open-minded about the baseball team?
This season?
Yeah.
You'd have to be 500 in July. Broncos training camp.
500 in July.
That would get my attention. If we're all rolling down a Broncos park
powered
shocking. By Common Spirit and they're at 500, then sure.
That'd be shocking.
But they're not going to do that.
Are you open-minded about the news that we got on Friday morning?
Absolutely. That was a monumental day in Colorado Rockies history. Zach, I thought it was just sports talk fodder. Oh, can the Penners please buy the Rockies? Please end our national nightmare. They actually bought 40% of the Rockies.
Crazy.
They didn't buy 4%. They didn't buy 8%. They bought 40%, a massive chunk. I think the math works out. It's probably about $670 million without us knowing those numbers officially.
Correct. Judging by Forbes and what they're worth and what they got, the minority stake, yeah, it's like 672.
But that news, there's very few things in this industry where I kind of pause and go, oh, that made me pause. That made my jaw hit the floor because, again, I thought we were just screaming into the void, please buy the Rockies, please buy the Rockies. They bought 40%.
They did.
I never thought Dick Monfort would sell 40% of this team. And you know what's going to get me really excited? And I don't think it's going to happen tomorrow. I don't think it's going to happen a year from now, 2 years from now.
Yep, but keep going.
When they get that other 11%.
Yeah.
Or just the whole enchilada. that's when the Penners are the majority owners of the Colorado Rockies. You ask me, when am I going to allow myself to get excited? I'll get really excited because Greg and Carey don't go into business to lose or for a hobby or to mess around. They go into it to win. Everything they've done in their lives has been a winner, from Walmart to the first 4 years we've seen with the Broncos. If they somehow can get the majority stake of the Rockies with no salary cap in that sport,
right,
we legitimately may see our first ever World Series.
Well, I'll say this, and people forget this. Dick Monfort, the Rockies came in 1993, right? Dick Monfort he and his brother did not become majority owners until 2005. 2005.
The McMorris family was very involved.
Correct. So this is right now, and you're starting with 40%. Greg Penner could be on the Dick Monfort plan of like people sell their shares. Well, there could be a right of first refusal in that. Hey, if this, because people have bailed out on some of their minority stakes from the Rockies, he might have something in place where I get right of first refusal on anything else, and including your share. And so I'm really excited. Like, big picture, because of their now involvement, that news we got on Friday, that was stunning, and you got to be excited based on what we know. But to forecast it out even farther, yeah, I do believe that day is coming, as we talked about on Friday. Dante, you got something real quick?
Yeah, I was talking with Jeff Passan, and he was talking about the Rockies' ownership and everything, and he said minority ownership is great, but until that percentage gets to 51, it won't mean a whole lot. So kind of what Will was saying there.
Okay, well, we'll see.
Good name drop by Dante, by the way.
I heard that.
Jeff Passan on line one.
He said, I was talking with Jeff Passan.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say this. Like, okay, ultimate control, but they got an influx of capital that they wouldn't have had otherwise. So let's see what the team does with it. And you can be sure the Penners will be involved in those discussions. It was their investment. Not saying that they're going to call the shots, but I do think you'll see some changes on the baseball operational side here in the next 2-3 years.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Paul DePodesta may not have taken the job,
correct,
unless he had known something like this was coming. I don't think it's out of bounds to say it was a top 5 day in Colorado Rockies history on Friday.
Doesn't sound crazy.
Because they just haven't had enough success that I can easily say. I mean, obviously, October 07, the run they went on is going to be one, but this, no joke, was one of the best days the Rockies have ever had.
Yep, agreed. Co-signed. All right, the Nuggets regular season is in the books. What did we make of the team's approach over the final weekend? That's coming up next.
Get ready, Broncos country. This is the event you've been waiting for. Join Peyton Manning, Emmanuel Sanders, Von Miller, DeMarcus Ware, Aqib Talib, TJ Ward, and Coach Gary Kubiak as they reunite to relive their legendary Super Bowl 50 run. It's Night of Champions, a live, unforgettable show packed with stories, memories, and a behind-the-scenes look at one of the greatest seasons in NFL history. And Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan wants you to be there. Enter now for your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets at DenverSports.com/champions. Don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime night with the heroes of Super Bowl 50.
Everything is getting more expensive. Gas, groceries, and especially rent, which can go up every single year. But as a homeowner, you have a secret weapon. While the world gets pricier, a fixed-rate mortgage stays exactly the same. That stability isn't just peace of mind, it's your family's financial foundation. American Financing understands home ownership creates wealth. Every monthly payment builds equity and stacks your net worth on autopilot. It's how the middle class actually wins the long game. Your home is a flexible asset. You can live in it, rent it out for passive income, or pass it down to your children. Renting gives you none of that. American Financing salary-based mortgage consultants can help you get pre-qualified with no upfront fees. Call American Financing today and get a pre-qualification letter in 24 hours or less. Call them at 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000 or online at AmericanFinancing.net. Secure your rate, build your wealth, and get the cash you need. NMLS 182334, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Wait, everything on this IHOP value menu is just $6?
I told you it was amazing. A huge plate of pancakes, bacon, and eggs is just $6.
Wow.
There's also French toast, a ham and cheese omelet, and oh, they got a BLT and fries now.
Okay, we're coming here every day.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Feast for just $6 with the IHOP value menu. $7 in some locations, available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
You can't always predict what's next, but you can be ready for it in a BMW SUV. The performance-driven X1 comes built for every journey, while the X3's sporty design and innovative technology keep your drive connected. The X5 blends performance with a commanding presence, or make it even bigger with 3 rows of luxurious seating in the X7. For every road, there's an X built to drive it. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Gebhardt BMW, your trusted family dealer since 1975.
Don't care for my team, ROX rocks heating and air. Through April, when you install a new cold climate heat pump system with my team at ROX, you get a free whole home water filtration system. How about that? Cleaner air, cleaner water. That's a winning combination. Upgrade your home's comfort and take advantage of this huge offer while it lasts, but only from my team. ROX rocks heating and air. Now play that jingle.
HVAC service, installation, repair. ROX rocks heating and air.
303 Law 4040. Want to share one of the best compliments we've ever received. Had a listener call in to 303 Law 4040. His name was Peter. His wife was viciously attacked in a dog bite incident. So we set up a time to have him come in, and I met with him at length while his wife was recovering at the hospital. A couple days later, my wife recognized the number. She had spoken to Peter before. So when the phone call came in, she said, Peter! It was actually Peter's wife. She said, how did you know? She said, well, we love our clients. She was just surprised that we recognized the number. We had her come in, we met with her, and she says, I feel like we're your only clients. It's really awesome. We're not your only clients, are we? No, they're not our only clients, but what a compliment that our clients feel valued and that we treat them with such a high level of service. If you ever need us, that's the type of service you will get too. It's Jacob's Law, 303 Law 4040. That's 303 Law 4040. Save that number in your phone. You never know when you're going to need it.
Sex, intimacy, love. These 3 things are critical to a good relationship, and that's the problem with erectile dysfunction. It often destroys sexual enjoyment and intimacy. It stresses the love between partners, often to the breaking point. This is Jeff for the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, and if you're suffering with ED, you likely know exactly what I'm talking about. But I also want you to know that ED doesn't have to impact your relationship anymore. At the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, we're ED experts with our focus on men's sexual health. We've treated tens of thousands of men and have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. I promise you, if you're like most guys, you can get your sex life back, perhaps even performing like you haven't in years. So if ED is affecting you, it's time to get back to better sex, better intimacy, and deeper love. Call us. Just $99 gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 720-440-7900 or go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com.
Discover incredible savings at the Mountain High Appliance Clearance Center in Denver. I'm Brad Barnett, president of Mountain High Appliance. Our clearance center offers a huge selection of ranges, refrigerators, laundry, and more. Save up to 60% on open box, scratch and dent, display models, and overstocked appliances from Bosch, Thermador, KitchenAid, and many more. When you're looking for great deals on appliances, our clearance center is your go-to destination for the best prices and selection.
Mountain High Appliance, your favorite appliance store.
Thank you.
It's the weekend, and the last thing you want is yard work. At Waterloo Turf, they help Denver homeowners trade lawn chores for more free time. No mowing, no watering, no mud. Just a green championship-level lawn all season long. Perfect for kids, pets, and backyard get-togethers. From backyards to putting greens, Waterloo Turf installs premium artificial turf built for Colorado. Visit waterlooturf.com/Denver and book your free consultation. Waterloo Turf. Get your Saturdays back.
Listen up, Denver. This hour's keyword is slot. SLOT. Text SLOT to 303-713-1043 right now, and you could win a $50 Dick's Sporting Goods gift card and qualify for the $1,000 grand prize. That's Slot to 303-713-1043.
By texting, you agree to receive an automated marketing message from Denver Sports 1043 The Fan. Message and data rates may apply. For complete rules or to enter the keyword online, visit www.denversports.com/keyword.
You're listening to The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay on Denver Sports 1043 The Fan.
All right, the Nuggets regular season, it's in the books. What did we make of the final weekend, the team's approach? We'll get to that in just a second. But first, you can join us Thursday, April 23rd, starting at 2 p.m. for our draft party live from Sportsbook Bar and Grill in Parker, brought to you by Carrier Colorado. It all starts with the drive at 2 p.m., followed by a special roundtable with Mark Schlereth, Brandon Stokely, Phillip Lindsay at 4 p.m. Then at 6 o'clock, Cecil Lammy and John Davis will take you through every pick of the first round. That's Thursday, April 23rd at the Sportsbook Bar and Grill in Parker. Okay, shifting gears, William. Will Peterson filling in for Phillip Lindsay today. The Denver Nuggets season came and went. All right, it's in the books. What did you make of the final weekend? What was your biggest takeaway?
My biggest takeaway is they played with fire a little bit, not playing their starters. I didn't like the strategy. I thought they needed to get the 3 seed, and they did. It all worked out. But that said, they easily could have lost those 2 games if the Thunder or Spurs had played their best players. And it just felt like, to me, you were tempting fate a little bit, going, well, do we really want to play Minnesota? Maybe we'd be better in the 4-5 matchup against likely Houston. That would have been short-sighted in my eyes. This isn't about winning one round. Yes, would it be a lot easier to win one round against the Rockets and the Wolves? Absolutely. This is about winning a title. And your best path to winning a championship is not facing Oklahoma City until the last possible moment, which, of course, in this case is the Western Conference Finals. So I'm glad it all worked out, Zach. But I'm not going to lie. I was nervous and did not love the strategy, especially because the play-in exists now. You knew the playoffs weren't going to start till Saturday or Sunday. You were going to have plenty of time off for your best players regardless. And I'm glad it worked out, but I also just vehemently disagreed with the strategy employed by David Adelman and maybe even the Nuggets front office.
Yeah, I'm not going to give you too much pushback on it. I see it a little bit differently. I was okay if at the nucleus of what they were doing was to rest their guys and not tempt the basketball gods and try to manipulate the standings. We've seen that cost this exact organization in years past under Michael Malone, and you want to scheme up and get the Blazers, and then they're coming in here and beating you in your own house. Which, by the way, we were talking about the Timberwolves specifically earlier today, and we'll get back to it at the top of the hour. There's so many interesting layers of this rivalry, really. But during the course of conversations, we talk about the 20-point blown lead on their home court, the largest in Game 7 history. You know what the third is? It's the Nuggets against Portland up 17 in the game where C.J. McCollum goes crazy and you lose Game 7 on your home floor. But I don't necessarily love that. But if at the true nucleus of your decision making was our number one priority is just to keep guys healthy in the way that you're looking for with the Avs. Now it's a little bit different because your seed is definitive with the Avs, but the story of this season, like if you were waking up from a 6-month coma and you're alert and you're like, what happened with the Denver Nuggets season? I would summarize it some way or form of when they're at their best, they look like they can win the NBA championship. Unfortunately, it was the most disjointed season in a decade from a health standpoint, and, man, they just went through it for really a 4-month period. They were awesome at the beginning, awesome at the end, and really mediocre because of a lack of availability in the middle chunks of the season. So if that's what it was, I'm A-okay with it because a lot of those front-facing guys that sat over the weekend, if you lose one of them, you're not winning a championship. They preserve the health, and you move forward into the first round.
Yeah, and that's a fair point, definitely. I mean, if Aaron Gordon had pulled a hammy because you played him in Game 82, what would our conversations be like today, right? We'd be saying, they can't win the whole thing. Whereas right now it feels like the Nuggets can win the whole thing Because you said it, incredibly disjointed, but what did they dodge? They dodged the dreaded season-ending injury. None of the guys got that. Yes, the best player in the world, Nikola Jokic, missed a month. Aaron Gordon missed more time than anyone would have liked. Cam Johnson missed a chunk of time. Even Jamal Murray missed a handful of games here and there. But we never got that news that so-and-so's done for the year. And that's been the case with the Avs as well. We haven't had that, knock on all the wood, too, that both these teams, in theory, should have everyone available to them in the playoffs. I thought it was short-sighted to not really try to win these games. And I understand they won them, and that's great, but I would have liked them to see a little bit stronger commitment to securing the 3 seed than what I felt like we got against the Thunder and the Spurs.
All right, well, that being said, it did, quote-unquote, all work out.
It did.
You are a top 3 seed. You go back 30 consecutive NBA champions have all been a top 3 seed. I have to go back to the 95 Rockets to find a non-top 3 seed, who I believe was the 6th seed at the time. Hakeem Olajuwon, Clyde Drexler, who's the young Sam Cassell. Anyway, conversely, look at the Spurs' approach to the final game of the weekend. They were trying to win. They were legitimately trying to win. Champagny played. De'Aaron Fox played. Devin Vassell, Stephon Castle, Harrison Barnes, Keldon Johnson. All those guys played. And not only did they play, they were picking up full court in the fourth quarter, trying to get the Denver Nuggets out of their side of the bracket and line up a second-round matchup with Oklahoma City. So it's a little bit revealing to San Antonio's view of Denver. Like, there's something there. They do not want to play the Denver Nuggets. I think there's a mental edge there. And so that was, I found that interesting.
No, I did as well. And you're right. If you get past the Wolves, it's almost assuredly going to be the Spurs there waiting for you. And I feel like Denver would win that series. You know, we talked about when they won the title, the order of the series wasn't necessarily going from easiest to hardest. And some players acknowledged that perhaps Minnesota was their toughest challenge. Now, I would make a case it was Phoenix during that title run. But either way, it's not always going to be the case that the series gets harder as they go.
Right.
I think right now, if they beat Minnesota, they're going to beat San Antonio. If you win round one, the Denver Nuggets are going to the Western Conference Finals.
I agree with this. Okay. Shifting gears. The NFL draft is next week. Are we in for an orange and blue curveball in round number 1? Someone with a recent track record says yes. We'll tell you who said what coming up next.
A major shakeup for the Colorado Rockies. The Penner Sports Group, owners of the Denver Broncos, has officially purchased a 40% stake in the Rockies, becoming the team's largest minority partner. While the Montfort family remains in full control, this move signals fresh investment, new ideas, and potentially a new long-term vision for the franchise. What could this mean for the Rockies' future? Stay tuned. Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
If you don't care about saving 50% off your wireless bill for the same 5G coverage the big guys are charging a fortune for, maybe you care about keeping jobs in America. Pure Talk does. They've pledged to run their entire operation from this country, including all their customer service. Or maybe you care about our nation's veterans. Pure Talk does. They've donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to America's Warrior Partnership, a fantastic organization working hard to prevent veteran suicide. Or maybe you care about closing America's skills gap. Pure Talk does. They're a proud supporter of MicroWorks. They're helping my foundation train the next generation of skilled workers. Don't get me wrong. Saving money's great, and you'll save plenty with Pure Talk. But if you want to be in business with people who share your values, dial pound 250. Say micro, and switch to an American wireless company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
Hey guys, looking for TRT that's flexible enough for your lifestyle? Head to Low T Center, the #1 name in TRT. Choose from testosterone shots, pills, or enclophamy. You can get your treatment in clinic or have testosterone shipped right to your door front. You can even choose self-pay or insurance coverage for the payment option that works best for you. Boost energy, increase confidence, and bring back the heat in the bedroom. Book a free T test now at fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com. DenverSports.com.
Smart homeowners know that proper maintenance of their home's AC can save a bundle in the long run. Trust our comfort specialists at 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning to keep your AC running strong. A proactive tune-up can actually help your AC run more efficiently and save you money on your electric bill. Call 855-1-HOUR or visit onehourair.com. We won't leave you waiting. Sing it with me.
Always on time, or you don't pay time. Always on time, or you don't pay time.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
Still haven't filed your taxes? Hey, you're not the only one. A lot of good people fall behind. But here's the thing. The longer you wait, the harder the IRS can hit back. Penalties stack up. Interest piles on. The letters get more aggressive. None of it magically disappears. It's why I always tell folks, call my friends at Advanced Tax Solutions. These are not generalists. They don't dabble in tax problems. They live in this world. Resolving IRS issues is all they do. Maybe you're 1 year behind. Maybe you're 10. Maybe you've got unfiled returns, wage garnishments, bank levies, or you're just losing sleep wondering what the IRS is going to do next. Their licensed tax professionals can step in fast, talk to the IRS for you, stop the stress, and start putting a real plan in place. And listen, waiting never makes it better. Every day you delay is another day the IRS gets to tighten the screws. One quick call to Advanced Tax Solutions, that could be the start of a quick resolution. So take control of your tax situation before the IRS does. Reach out to Advanced Tax Solutions today and breathe again.
Are you looking for the perfect engagement ring? Hi, I'm Scott Matthew with Matthew's Fine Watches and Jewelry. We have a great selection to choose from. If you're looking for that one-of-a-kind custom ring, our associates will take the time with you to design that ring that she will love and her friends will go crazy over. At Matthews, when you purchase your ring and Centerstone, you'll receive 20% off your wedding bands. Make the right choice. Come to Matthews and save.
Matthews Fine Watches and Jewelry, located in the Highlands Ranch Town Center or online at MatthewsFineWatches.com.
Hey, it's Zach here for 5280 Exteriors. Wildland Urban Interface is the new Colorado standard. It could affect your next siding, decking, roofing, or window project. 5280 Exteriors can help you identify your fire risk zone, stay compliant, and protect your home.
Looking for a way for your hard-earned money to work hard for you? Open a 13-month CD at 3.75% APY from Ent Credit Union, soon to be Wings Credit Union. With a minimum deposit of only $500, a 13-month term, and a guaranteed annual percentage yield of 3.75%, your future self will thank you. But hurry, this special rate is only for a limited time. Get started today at ent.com/CD special. Rate accurate as of March 1st, 2026 and subject to change without notice. Insured by NCUA.
Brandon Stokely here from my friends at Roller Auction. Do you have items you're looking to sell? Since 1976, Roller Auction has been conducting commercial and industrial auctions for Colorado government agencies, Fortune 500 companies, small business owners, secured creditors, individuals, and more. They have a large marketplace to showcase your assets, so don't wait. Visit rollerauction.com for a free consultation and turn those items into some cold, hard cash. Again, go visit them at rollerauction.com. That's rollerauction.com.
I've been burned before. I was just repeating the same patterns. It turns out I had a type.
Workplaces everywhere are looking for love. And by love, we mean the easy way to order food at work. Easy Cater.
I thought ordering from great restaurants at work had to be complicated, but then I met Easy Cater. So many options, so flexible, and when I ordered for 50 gluten-free vegans without going over budget, I knew I'd found the platform I wanted to do life and lunch with.
Fall in love with Easy Cater. Start an order at easycater.com.
Jake from State Farm. I just beat my running PR, so I'm celebrating with the Banana Bonanza smoothie.
Hey, and you can keep celebrating when you create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. Go bananas.
I will. Hey, make it a large.
Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Are you one of those people who dread going to the dentist? If so, have you tried sedation dentistry? Learn more about sedation dentistry at coloradosedation.com. Sit back, relax, and dream with the most experienced sedation dentist and staff at Clarkson Dental.
This segment on 104.3 The Fan is brought to you by Step Denver, a nonprofit solution to addiction and homelessness.
It's The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
Rolling right through. here on a Monday, April 13th. Appreciate you guys rocking with us. The NFL draft is next week. We'll circle back to Nuggets at the top of the hour. I'm fascinated by this first round matchup, and we'll talk about the layers, the human layers, the historical layers of everything that is Nuggets Wolves. We'll get to it at the top of the hour. But the NFL draft is next week.
Next week. I misspoke in the first hour of the show and said it was this week. Apparently, that's what I wrote at my kitchen table this morning. So that's just what I read, Anchorman style. And I'm Zach By.
Yes. Hey, are we in for an orange and blue curveball in round number 1? Someone with a recent track record says yes. We'll tell you who said what here in just a second. But what is your interest in next week's NFL draft from a Broncos perspective to where it normally is historically?
Yeah, normally I'm like an 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. Obviously, the year you knew they were going to take a quarterback, it was a 10 out of 10 for sure. But 5 maybe, right in the middle. I'm really curious to see what position they go, Zach, specifically at number 62 if they do stay put. Because last year they did the whole best player available thing with Jahdae Barron, not on anyone's radar. And I'm never going to call a guy a bust after just 1 year in the NFL, but unfortunately Jahdae did not have a great rookie year, an impressive rookie year, one that made me feel like he was worthy of a first-round selection. And I hope they don't go BPA at number 62. Because if it's like, oh, well, the best player is this corner, and they take another corner, there's just no point to that. I think they need to draft a specific position, and I've got 2 that I have my eyes on. I would love that pick to be a tight end or an inside linebacker.
Yeah, I think that's really like 2 of the 4 positions. And I shouldn't limit it to just 4 because, as you said, if last year's guide or if last year is a guide, like we have no idea what they're thinking. I didn't see one mock draft that had Jahdae Barron. Not one. Tight end is up there. D tackle is up there. Running back, I still think should be in play. And left tackle. Garrett Bowles is turning 34 years old.
Yeah, that report from last week from ESPN was really interesting.
It was.
That they've heard that they could go tackle at number 62.
Yeah, and if you're not picking in the first round, so just start there. But you're not going to have like a top 15 pick. Your plan is to not have one of those for many, many years to come. That's where those franchise tackles get drafted, the Penei Sewells, fill in the blank. So you probably have to develop one. And you have a window of time right now to develop one under Garrett Bowles while he's still here to create a succession plan so you're not in a position to need one, which is the same position you were in when you drafted Garrett Bowles in the first place. You know, they're up there saying Ty Sambrailos but they had to. Now, it worked out, but if you're not going to have premium draft position here moving forward because of the health of the franchise, that's a good thing. You may have to take a longer-term approach at left tackle. I mentioned to Phil last week, there's like the old Chinese proverb, the best time to plant a tree was 30 years ago, and the second best time is right now. Like, you may have to, do something with the long term in mind. So I think that's a long-winded way of saying I think tackle should be in play as well.
Yeah, you got to think about keeping Bo Nix upright, and Garrett Bowles isn't going to play forever. He was drafted a little later on in life. That's why I think it kind of snuck up on some people that Garrett's going to be 34 this year.
Yep.
And you know what's a perfect scenario, man? Garrett plays the next couple years in Denver, leaves with a fat Super Bowl ring on his finger, and one day we can talk about whether or not he's a Ring of Famer. Maybe not yet for me, but I definitely think a path exists for Garrett Bowles to end up in the Broncos Ring of Fame one day.
Definitely.
And put it this way, it would ease the sting because there's always going to be human elements to this. They take a left tackle at 62. I don't think Garrett Bowles is going to be real thrilled, but if he's still the starter the next couple seasons, call it, and can retire with a Super Bowl ring, then it'll certainly all be worth it.
No doubt, no doubt. All right, well, going into that last break, I said, are we in for a curveball in round one? Someone with a recent track record says yes. It wasn't too many weeks ago that Aqib Talib was saying that now this is when Broncos country was in a hissy fit because they weren't active in free agency, right? And Aqib says, hey, they're doing something, and there's a big splash coming. Trust me. Within 24 hours, there's a trade for Jalen Waddle. So it's like, damn, who was Aqib Talib talking to, right? This was Aqib Talib in the last couple days talking to Skip Bayless.
So, Kinsey, I keep waiting for the bombshell to drop because this man across from me over here keeps saying Denver's going to make another big move, and I keep waiting.
It might be the
waiting
draft.
And wait. Oh,
yeah.
the draft.
It might be the draft, Skip.
Yeah.
So just,
Maybe they're just getting gun shy in Denver. Maybe.
Hey, come on, Skip.
Come on.
You still don't believe me? You still don't believe me, Skip?
No,
Come on now.
unfortunately,
All right.
I do, and I'm dreading what's about to happen.
It might be on draft day.
Yeah, okay.
Just know that.
It might be on draft day. Know that. Interesting. Oh, is this gospel? No, it's not. But he has my attention after the Waddle thing. And I don't know what he's hearing or discussing with whom. I don't know. But my ears perked up a little bit because this is not on accident.
Absolutely. Akib has the track record that he can be a newsbreaker. He certainly was with the Waddle thing. And he wasn't just talking for attention. He wasn't just talking out of the side of his mouth for the sake of talking out of the side of his mouth. He knew. He had a source on it because you don't get that lucky just guessing. You don't tell Skip that something big's coming and then 24 hours later the Broncos pull off a blockbuster trade unless you've got some good birdies. And I think Aqib Talib has good birdies. This definitely has my attention, but I'll just ask you, does it mean like a player, a household name that we know about, or does it mean maybe trading back up into the first round if you're in love with like a Kenyon Sadiq or something like that?
Yeah, so obviously I don't know, so I'm going to speculate. If you are in a Super Bowl window, I don't know if there's a path for a rookie to start on this Broncos roster that just won 14 games. Clearly, there wasn't a path even where they thought there could be one a year ago with Jahdae Barron. That's where this roster's at. And so with that in mind, I wonder if it's just the draft is being referred to as a window of time where blockbuster trades do happen. And could they go out and trade for, I'll just make up a name, could they go trade for Christian McCaffrey? Like something like that catches us all off guard in the way that the Waddle story did with a more established veteran player that fits into a more Super Bowl ready roster than now, as opposed to trading back into the first round and drafting a rookie.
Yeah, and I know you're just throwing out a hypothetical with a guy like Christian McCaffrey, and I get it. Can I give you a name that I don't think is dead quite yet?
Sure.
Quite yet?
Breece Hall?
Breece Hall. I don't think Breece Hall's dead quite yet.
I hope you're right.
I don't think he wants to be a Jet.
He does not.
I think they just franchise tagged him because they knew he was going to come sign with the Broncos. Darren Muji, the Jets GM, was obviously the assistant here under George Payton. I just feel like Breece Hall is the one name still out there that if we got that Adam Schefter or Ian Rappaport bombshell, the Denver Broncos are acquiring Breece Hall, I may fall out of my chair from excitement, but I wouldn't fall out of my chair in the sense that it's not on my radar. It is on my radar that I think Breece Hall, I'll call it a 10% chance.
Sure.
There's a 10% chance Breece Hall could be a Denver Bronco this year.
All right, I take 10% with that guy specifically right here, right now. All right, if you want to react to that conversation, you can hit us up on the RamosLaw.com text line, 303-713-1043. We're going to get into a full-fledged Denver Nuggets Timberwolves conversation at the top of the hour. And all the layers of drama that this thing has, from on-court stuff to human connective tissue between these two organizations. We'll sort of recap this rivalry. Also, CU football was going viral before their first snap of the spring game. Is it a big deal or a little deal? We'll get to all of it as we are on the doorstep of 40 consecutive minutes of commercial-free sports talk coming up next.
The Denver Nuggets are rolling into the postseason. A win over San Antonio locks up the third seed, caps a 12-game winning streak, and now the road to another O'Brien Trophy begins. Game 1 of the playoffs tips off Saturday afternoon. As the Nuggets host Minnesota, can Denver exorcise the ghosts of 2024 and take down the Wolves? Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Denver's playoff headquarters.
This week's Recovery of the Week is brought to you by Step Denver, the men's residential addiction recovery program in Lower Downtown. Our Recovery of the Week this week belongs to Denver Nuggets forward Aaron Gordon, who back in late January pulled his right hamstring for the third time in 10 months and had to miss nearly 2 months of action, and has since returned to the lineup with only 1 game missed as an active starter and looks to stay healthy for the postseason. And that was our recovery of the week presented by Step Denver. And now I'm sitting down with Derek from Step Denver. Starting at square one, the first pillar of your program is sobriety. And my understanding is that if you have sobriety, everything else can follow.
Yeah, absolutely, Zach. You know, I was running away from responsibility and from myself in my active addiction and alcoholism. Most of the men that we have coming into Step have been living in chaos and haven't been showing up in their own lives. You know, personally, I was missing moments, missing people, and missing a purpose. You know, I had mountains of problems to show that the way that I was living was not working. Sobriety gave me a second chance at life. It's not the easy life, but it's a real one. You know, today I get to wake up with a clear mind and face my problems instead of hiding from them. I used to be willing to do whatever it took to stay drunk and high, but now I'm committed to doing whatever it takes to stay sober and live the life that I deserve. At Step Denver, our residents are ready and willing to put in that time and effort to maintain sobriety and become productive members of society again.
That's powerful stuff, Derek. If you are struggling with addiction or want to make a donation to help the men who are calling Step to get their life back today, visit stepdenver.org. That's stepdenver.org.
Men, we all know how important sex is in a relationship, both for you and your partner. But erectile dysfunction ruins sex, which can often have serious impacts on your relationship as well. This is Jeff for the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, and if ED is a problem in your life, you understand the impacts it has on you and the one you love. But I'm here to tell you that ED is a treatable condition, and almost without exception, you can have really good sex again. At the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men with protocols that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most guys, good sex will be the norm. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a level of intimacy for you and your partner that might just astound you both. It's time to have really good sex again, so call us. Just $99 gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 720-440-7900 or go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com. We have 5 offices across the Front Range to serve you.
Hey guys, your boy Stink here. Are you considering GLP-1 injections for weight loss? Before you start, ask yourself this. Are you prepared to spend $3,000 to $5,000 per year and stay on the medication long-term to maintain the results? Many prescription weight loss injections require weekly shots, and when the medication is stopped, weight regain is common. And here's something most people don't realize. Research shows a significant portion of weight loss can come from muscle, which may slow your metabolism and make keeping weight off even harder. At Colorado Fat Loss, they take a different approach. Their doctor-developed program helps men and women lose 20 to 40 pounds in just 60 days safely and naturally. No injections, no synthetic hormones, no long-term dependence. Instead, they use real food to reset your metabolism, control hunger and cravings naturally, and help your body burn fat, not muscle. Right now, you can schedule a free phone consultation to see if the program is right for you. Go to ColoradoFatLoss.com. That's ColoradoFatLoss.com.
Results may vary.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
That sound? Yeah, that's not a good sign. Hey, it's Drew Brees, and when your car starts making noises like that, a big repair bill might be coming right at you. But with CarShield, you don't have to fear unexpected breakdowns. CarShield helps protect you from expensive auto repairs. I spent my career making tough calls, but this one is simple.
Visit carshield.com now and join the team that's helped millions of drivers save. Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at carshield.com.
Taking your eyes off the road for just 2 seconds can double your chances of a crash. Eyes on the road, hands on the wheel. Seconds matter. Brought to you by the Colorado State Patrol.
The Denver Broncos traded their first-round pick, but could they surprise us all and trade their way back into day one action? Join us at the Sportsbook Bar and Grill in Parker on Thursday, April 23rd for the Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan Draft Party. presented by Carrier Colorado. Zach By and Phillip Lindsay will broadcast live starting at 2 p.m. Brandon Stokely and Mark Schlereth join the action at 4. Then John Davis and Mr. Draft himself, Cecil Lammy, take you through every first-round pick. We'll see you there. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan presents The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay.
All right, we'll get back to the Nuggets conversation at the top of the hour. Really looking forward to it. This is going to be a fun week previewing this rivalry. And make no mistake, it is a rivalry. We'll talk about for all the reasons why. But first, over the weekend, that was just packed with sports. Local, hyper-local, but also national as well. And maybe caught in the shuffle a little bit was the spring games for CSU and CU, and rightfully so. It's the spring game, right?
But think about the spring game a couple years ago. Sold out crowd, packed house.
47,000 people for the black and gold game in 2023. This time over the weekend, 27,000 people were announced. There was nowhere close to 27,000 people.
It wasn't even a blip on the radar.
No, not really. And again, that's not like disparaging. Obviously, CU has lost some momentum. Like, that's what happens. You go 1-8 in Big 12 play, and there's not going to be 47,000 people showing up at the spring game like they once were. But that being said, I was reminded that the spring game was happening when it was because of this viral tweet. And I just glanced at the RamosLaw.com text line. Zach and drama, go figure. No, this was not a manufactured, like, this thing took on a life of its own, and we'll talk about whether it should have or not. But the viral video of the CU players running out of the tunnel caught traction to a degree that I personally could have never, ever seen coming.
No, and it just shows you how everything Dion, everything CU, Coach Prime, is kind of a lightning rod. And when you got a bunch of dudes running out of a tunnel that look like they could be running out of a high school tunnel, that's going to get people's attention. They just didn't look big, Zach. And it wasn't just one guy. It was a lot of players on this football team that people were looking at going, that guy plays in the Big 12? How's he going to line up against a farm boy from Kansas State? How's that going to work out for him? Again, I think people sometimes are nitpicky on the CU stuff. I actually think there was a little something to see here with this one.
Well, I don't want to get carried away because I only saw the players that were shown, and the video is like 7 seconds long, so it wasn't the entire scope of the football team. Some quarterbacks, some running backs, But that being said, I mean, they could just be undersized, but people were alarmed. I mean, people within the sport, tweeting about it, how small they were. Were they small in the video? Yes, they were. I'm not here to say that they weren't. But I think there could be more to the picture that we didn't see. I'm just not rushing to bring the gavel down on their season because of how, bite-sized some of the, inside linebackers looked.
I get it, but also we don't know these guys. The roster changes over a ridiculous amount every single year with NIL and the portal. And for this to be the first glimpse of the 2026 Buffs, I was like, wasn't exactly impressed. And we've come a long way from these guys being household names and us knowing them. I mean, how many people, if you walk down the street right now, name one CU player? They could probably get one. If they're sports fans. Juju Lewis. Could you get two? If you're just a casual sports fan in the state of Denver or the state of Colorado, city of Denver?
Probably not. The Scudero kid, the wide receiver from San Jose State, that dude's a baller. He was one of the nation's leaders in receiving last year, transferring into the Power 4 level. He did catch a touchdown from Juju on Saturday. Beyond that, yeah, I mean, look, even if you're a CU fan, there's such wholesale turnover that it's really impossible, unless you're a sicko within that world, and good for you if you are, to know like what this too deep looks like in April. It's just the buzz in general, like it's just not where it was, right? It's just not where it was. And
it's totally fallen off a cliff. The Deion Sanders, he's always going to be a legend. He's absolutely one of the best athletes we've ever seen in our lifetimes. But the shine of Coach Prime, it's long gone, man.
Agreed.
It is long gone.
Well, how does this next chapter end? Could they be overachievers, who people don't see coming? That's not what I would predict. Now, the Brendan Marion hire, the go-go offense, I'm very curious about that. I like their approach of, instead of going for washouts at these top-tier Power 5 schools that didn't get on the field, but because they had a Texas Longhorn on their helmet, they're bound for success in Boulder. No, that hasn't worked. So I like the approach, the pivot of saying, okay, we're going to go after more proven players in the portal that are from lower levels that want to come up and get an opportunity at the Power 4 level. Now, they could be doing that out of necessity. My guess would be that's what this is at its core, because they don't have NIL money to give to get true top-tier talent. And just make no mistake, top-tier talent, where they go is based on NIL. Now, they may have a hometown sentiment or something that pairs with NIL, but no top-tier blue-chip kid is doing anything for sentiment anymore. So CU doesn't have the money to give. Deion Sanders, unfortunately for fans in Boulder, and I've talked to a handful of alumni here as recent as this past weekend about Deion's approach to recruiting. In my opinion, Deion Sanders has one superpower. It ain't X's and O's. He's not a great football coach, all right? But he's got a gravitas to him because of who he is, the guy that you just talked about. He's a legend, right? But when you tuck your cape into your shirt and you choose not to use that superpower on the recruiting trail, you're left with this approach, again, which I like, but probably out of necessity.
It may be their only possible option at this point in time. And I know you're a huge fan of Kurt Cignetti.
Yes.
Did he build Indiana in that way a little bit? That there was some chatter that the Hoosiers were built with not just leftovers from Bama and from Georgia, but built by guys who put up numbers in production at smaller schools.
Yeah.
He gave them a chance at Indiana, and now they're national champions. So it can work. It can work, but obviously we're skipping 100 steps, even putting CU football and Indiana football in the same breath. So I get it, why they have to do it, man, but I don't know, Zach. I think right now on my Denver Sports Power Rankings, CU's like 7th or 8th on my list.
Who's ahead of them?
Well, clearly the Big Four, the Big Four pro teams, the Nuggets, the Avs, the Broncos, and the Rockies.
Even the Rockies for you?
Yeah, I'm more interested in the Rockies than I am CU football.
Okay.
I may not, have the same love for the Rockies that you possessed after they started 6-6, but
I was optimistic and hopeful.
You were very optimistic, yes. I mean, just as a prisoner of the moment, DU hockey right now, like that was significantly more interesting than any CU football game last year. I mean, those two games were tremendous against Michigan and Wisconsin. The Summit FC is certainly on my radar as well. I think that's
CU football.
If you had asked me, do you want to go to that game at Empower Field at Mile High, or do you want to go to a CU football game this year? I would have picked that game.
So yes, I agree, but that's not what I'm asking. You're going to watch more CU football than the Summit, I would guess.
Probably because we'll talk more about CU football.
Hold on, let me ask you this. Is CSU football, in your opinion, more interesting right now than the Buffs?
I'm really curious to see what Jim Mora does.
So am I. That's why I mentioned it. I'm very interested.
And I think Jim Mora took this job because he thinks he can win in Fort Collins.
I agree. He left a winning situation.
Exactly, at UConn. Who else would be in that conversation? I don't know, but you get what I'm... Just a couple of years ago, CU football was like number 2 or number 3 on the list.
If not one, certain periods of time.
In the fall, especially.
Yeah.
When you had Travis and Shador and you thought you had a chance at a Big 12 title game and maybe making the college football playoff. What I'm getting at is they have fallen off a cliff in terms of my interest level, and I don't think I'm alone in that sentiment. I think when Deion first got here, it was really cool. It was really curious. They backed it up with winning in year 2, didn't win in year 1, but won in year 2. And then they just never could replace a couple of superstars at the college level that departed. And honestly, man, CU football is just not moving the needle for me. Am I unique in that? Does it move the needle for you? Does it move the needle for people listening? Or is it just kind of, here we go again. It's another 3-9 season on tap?
For me, I think that, one, I'm just going to watch CU and CSU football because that's just what I'm going to do. But it's moved towards interesting in a more curious and morbid way, as opposed to I can't wait to see what's next, in this story. And so, but that's what happens. You go 3-9, you go 1-8 in the conference. Like, and here's the thing: it's like Dion is saying how much better they got, and look at the coaches, and everyone thinks they got better. Everyone in college football thinks they got better.
Oh, okay. I agree with you there. Yeah.
Like, that's not like, so
it's just lip service this time of year. Any coach of the country is going to say, "Oh, we're a lot better this year than we were last year."
Yeah. And so I want to see it. Obviously, I've been and continue to be in prove-it mode. I have to see it. And it starts with Georgia Tech in Atlanta. That program has come such a long way under Brent Key. And you'll have your guaranteed victory over Weber State. We'll see what happens. It better be.
What happened against Delaware last year? Wasn't that game interesting for a little while?
It was competitive, but Delaware's a better football program than Weber State. But yeah, I mean, look, we'll see. But there's no, this idea, and I think you may have it in your head that, this could be Deion Sanders last year. I don't know the resolution to this. Deion Sanders is going to either have to say, stop paying me tens of millions of dollars that you owe me. I don't foresee that. The university is not in a financial position to say, we're on pace to lose the most money in the history of our athletic department, and we're going to turn around and write you a check, pay you out for the duration of your contract, pay out your entire staff, turn around and hire a whole new staff. I don't know. I think that you often see, unfortunately, people stay together in an adult relationship for the kids, or it makes the most sense financially. You can't operate independently in the same lifestyle without one another, and you stay together because you kind of have to. That's what I forecast this situation being. If Deion doesn't win, they turn around, they win this year, it's all good. You continue. But if you don't, I just don't think there's some lever to pull where it's an emergency escape hatch for this situation.
But there's also a new athletic director. Obviously, Rick George was a huge fan of Deion Sanders and still has a role with the program, but I can't imagine the new AD taking the job feeling like Rick's going to be looking over my shoulder.
Well, Rick's gone. I mean, Rick's going to retire.
He got some fancy title.
No, he's gone. He's gone. And
is it like when John Elway got promoted and
yes,
he really
was
was
president? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this to me, you hired one of the youngest ADs in the country because you had to. Someone established and wanted would not come and inherit this situation just based off the finances alone. And so, Mr. Lovo up there, I think that it's a great opportunity for him at 34, 35, whatever he is. But I think that a lot of other potential ADs, including Rick, by the way, who might have looked under the hood of this thing, it's like, this is not a great situation.
Now's my time to get out.
Yeah. So we'll see what is, and this is not because I know how people hear this sometimes, Zach's hating on Steve. This is the situation. For better or worse, this is what it is right now. So let's see what it looks like operationally from a football standpoint. I have my doubts, but I'm open and receptive to be proven wrong.
What if Shedeur Sanders is the starter for the Cleveland Browns this year and has a good season? You think Deion in 2027 wants to continue to coach CU, or he wants to go watch his son play in the NFL on Sundays?
That would have to be him saying, stop paying me the tens of millions that you owe me.
And he's still Deion Sanders, and he's not going to make tens of millions, but he can still make millions of dollars being Deion Sanders.
Selling pistachios.
Exactly. It just would not shock me if there's some sort of mutual parting of ways after this season.
We'll see. We shall see. All right, this is KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. We are coming with it, and we are coming for it. It's Zach By hanging out with Will Peterson, who's filling in for Phillip Lindsay today, and we are The Drive, powered by Regen RX. That's when Phil screams. You're supposed to do that. Woo! All right, that was kind of the second cousin of what Will does, or excuse me, Phil does. Hey, appreciate you guys rocking with us, man. What a treat that we have awaiting us this weekend. Nuggets, Timberwolves, another postseason chapter from a complicated story that is still being written. Goodness gracious. I'm not sure this is exactly what the Nuggets wanted in their heart of hearts, but this is what they have. And this is a bona fide rivalry, in my opinion. If this isn't a rivalry right now in the NBA, then the NBA doesn't have any rivalries. I think this is the closest thing that you're going to get in 2026. I like what you said earlier in the show. You said you only have, a rivalry, a true rivalry, if you meet multiple times in the postseason. And this rivalry for me started almost 10 years ago in Game 82. I remember it like it was yesterday. Behind this microphone, doing this job, and pulling like crazy for the Nuggets to win the final game of the season, the OG play-in game, Game 82, back in 2017 and 18. And it was, I forget where the game was. God, I'll have to go back and look, but it was a 112-106 Nuggets loss in overtime. Really,
I'm almost positive the game was in Minnesota.
Okay,
Yep.
I think you're right.
Yep.
But it was one of these where it was, you knew the Nuggets were on to something at the time, and you knew it was like, okay, this team's worth watching here moving forward. And it was really the first game of the Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic experience here in Denver where the game had real stakes. If you won it, you were going to the postseason for the first time in years. If you lost it, your season was over. Unfortunately, the Nuggets lost it that evening, but that was the first chapter in games of consequence against Minnesota in this era of Denver Nuggets basketball.
Yeah, you put it well earlier. It was kind of the OG play-in game, It literally came down to if you win, you're in. If you lose, you're done. And Minnesota got the best of them. But you could tell with Nikola Jokic at that point in his career that he wasn't just going to be a good player or a great player. He was going to be a special player. And we all know that's what Nikola is, winner of 3 MVPs. Honestly, he should be going for his 6th in a row this year. I think you can make a real strong case that he's going to get snubbed a third time over the last 6 years. And I know people want championship rings and the MVPs. He's almost assuredly going to retire with 3 of them. Maybe he gets a 4th one at some point in his career, but that was kind of when you knew, like, oh, Jusuf Nurkic, see you later. We're building around this Serbian sensation, Nikola Jokic. And obviously, making the playoffs would have been big for that version of the Nuggets, because even if you get swept, you get 4 playoff games under your belt for guys that had never played in the NBA postseason before. And I remember being vividly upset when they lost that night. I was disappointed for sure, but if someone could have sat me down and said, hey, that was only step one in just an incredible journey for this basketball team over the next decade, I probably would have taken it and had a better perspective about falling short of making the playoffs. Because think about where we are now. It's just a birthright that the Avs and Nuggets make the playoffs. That is the definition of spoiled.
Correct.
Because when Nikola Jokic doesn't play basketball anymore, the Nuggets are not going to be bad. They're going to stink. They're going to be awful. There's going to be a couple years there where we are looking at ping pong balls.
It's typically the life cycle of these teams.
Exactly. When Nathan McKinnon and Cale Makar don't play hockey anymore, Chris McFarland's traded all the Avs picks. I'm cool with it because they're all in, and I get it. I understand the strategy. The Avalanche are going to get seasons where they have 50 or 60 points again. They're going to be terrible. So we really do have to appreciate it now, because both our basketball team and our hockey team, it's not going to happen tomorrow. It's not going to happen a year from now. But I'm talking 5, 6, 7 years from now. Ball Arena, it ain't going to be the place to be when both these teams have to start the rebuild. Let's just hope we get another couple titles before that happens.
Yeah, that definitely is the hope. And that game 82 back in the 17-18 season that they lost in overtime, Jokic goes for 35 points and 10 rebounds. And I was like, oh. And obviously he was already on the radar, in a major way. But it was like, oh, major game, huge spotlight, biggest game of your NBA career, and it's 35 and 10. That was definitely a sign of things to come. And then you have the second chapter of this story. It was the title season, the 22-23 season, where Denver's path to the championship went Minnesota Timberwolves in round number 1, Phoenix in round number 2. Remember how hot Durant and Booker were in 2 of those games, in back-to-back games to tie the series. It was like they were shooting 70% from the floor. They get the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals, the Heat in the NBA Finals, and I remember these guys retroactively looking back at the championship on podcasts and other things of that nature, saying that first round series against Minnesota, despite it being a gentleman's sweep, was actually our toughest round of the postseason. So you put that in your memory bank, and then you flash forward to the very next season where the Nuggets are defending their championship, and it's the biggest collapse in any Game 7 in history of the NBA postseason. And, this is Jamal Murray throwing the heat pack. Earlier in the series, it was Anthony Edwards throwing the chair that I think the Ball Arena worker tried to get the police involved and filed a suit or something like that.
That was the year they won the title.
Oh,
the
so
Edwards
that was
chair
true.
thing was the year they won the title.
Getting it confused here. So you had those back-to-back seasons, and here you have the rubber match in terms of the postseason, meeting 3 times in the previous 4 years. It's high drama, Will.
Oh, it is. It's the best first-round series of the entire NBA playoffs. If it weren't for LeBron James and Kevin Durant, they would be getting treated with the full-on primetime schedule. And Saturday afternoon is still a great slot, for game 1 of this series. Ball Arena is going to be absolutely rocking. It's going to be electric.
Yep, I'll be there.
But this is the kind of series that the whole NBA world is going to be tuned into. Because with all due respect to Knicks Hawks, that ain't exactly on my radar. Whereas Nuggets Wolves, we're not being prisoners of the moment. We're not sitting here doing this job in Denver. This is going to be probably the most talked about first round series of all of them throughout the playoffs, barring a big upset or the Suns giving the Spurs a scare, or maybe if Boston gets a scare or something like that. But this is it, man. This is the series, and how fortunate are we? But also, I'm nervous, but it's like a good nervous. I feel like you can finally sort of exercise those demons, and I get it. You would have won a title or likely had a shot at a title if you beat them in 24, but this does feel like that taste. We need to wash what happened in that Game 7, because that Game 7 was not pleasant to watch. I know you were in the building, but I think we all kind of realized late third quarter, early fourth quarter, they're going to lose this basketball game.
Yep.
And it's probably the most heartbreaking loss in the history of the franchise.
Yeah, I think that it is. And there's been some others. You talk about this series with the Lakers and the inbounding and lack thereof, or you go back to the 80s, and Nuggets had some awesome teams that matched up against the Lakers, and they get banged up before the series, and Magic and Kareem and those boys move on. There's been tough losses, but as a defending champion, where up until this point, those other painful, stinging Denver Nuggets losses, but they had never even been on the final stage of the sport. This was, you were on the final stage, you won it in bully fashion, 16-4 on your way to your championship. You're defending that championship. You're on your home floor. You are up 20 in the second half, and you blow it. And you're right, I was there. I was about 150 feet off the court and sitting in the lower bowl, and I'm sitting next to Troy Rank, and I'll never forget it when Troy says, hey, pretty sure the biggest blown lead in Game 7 history is 18. And I check, going to team stats, ESPN.com, my computer, they were up 20, and this is in the moment. And you're right, with every passing minute, that brutal loss came into focus. And at a certain point, it became inevitable, almost when you're watching a race and you see that person coming, bringing it up from the back, and you're like, they're going to win. Even before they take the lead, that was that loss. And in a lot of ways, you could point to that loss as the beginning of the end of that iteration of Denver Nuggets basketball, as a year later, Michael Malone and Calvin Booth are both, it's less than a year later, the head coach and the general manager are getting blown out with 3 games left in the season. You can make an argument that germ formed in that loss, in that ugly loss, that, yet and still the team has never been beyond that moment.
And it almost feels like a point, if there's a documentary someday about the Nuggets, it's either like the starting point or the ending point of the documentary, right? If they go on to win a title this year, maybe it's the starting point. We all know what happened in 23. They were going to do it again in 24. They absolutely collapsed in a Game 7 at home, but they used it as fuel. And new journey started with a first-round series over the Wolves. But if the Nuggets come up short once again, and they only get 1 title in the Nikola Jokic window, we're always going to think about that game.
Yep.
We're always going to say Nikola Jokic could have 2 rings if it weren't for that just impossibly bad collapse against the Minnesota Timberwolves. What was the vibe like? Was it like a real nervous energy?
Dude, it was, first of all,
because it was a party at the start.
It was a party. And then as the minutes fell off the clock in the second half, it turned into the most anxious crowd I had ever been in this side of Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Finals in Denver in 2022, where you talk about a powder keg being ready to explode and the team's going to win it on their home ice and we're about to spill out into the streets. Like, people were ready to spill into the streets in the first period. And that was the most bizarre sporting event I've ever been to, because the Avs never showed up to that party and they ultimately go and win it in 6. But like this side of that, like that second half, especially the final 2 minutes of the third and the first 3 or 4 or 5 minutes of the fourth, where it was that runner in that race, you can see it happening and they're closing the gap. You're like, oh my God. And the legs were so tired. The tongues were dragging. Jokic couldn't stop taking threes and settling out of possessions. And it just became crystal clear. This is going to happen. And I remember after it did happen being on the floor. And Anthony Edwards, I'll never forget, Will, I'm as close as I am to you right now. And the things that he was saying out on the floor, like the things he was saying into the camera, Jamal Murray, handcuffs. I had Jamal Murray in handcuffs, and he did. He wore that man's skin during that series. And it's going to be like, that's going to be a factor this time around too, the hounding Jamal, and things aren't the same, from a personnel standpoint. We can talk about that, but the stuff that Anthony Edwards was firing out of his mouth.
Anything you can share?
I mean, just not verbatim.
Yeah.
But telling everyone who was within earshot who the Nuggets were, who he was, what he just did to them. I mean, it was on. I still have videos on my phone of it, and so this has got a lot to it. These two teams don't like one another. You have the Jokic Gobert thing. You have the Jamal Anthony Edwards thing. You have the Bones Highland thing, where Bones Highland was on the All NBA rookie team. That was for the first time since Jamal Murray was a rookie almost 10 years previous. And they essentially kicked him out of the team. And he ends up in Minnesota because guess who brings him in from out of the cold? Tim Connolly, the guy who built the foundation and the core of this Nuggets roster. Who's the coach in Minnesota? It's Chris Finch. Chris Finch was Michael Malone's assistant. Who's Chris Finch's assistant? It's Micah Nori. Micah Nori was here in Denver, 15, 16, 17, 18. So you have all this human connective tissue from the top of the organization in Tim Connolly through the coach, his assistant, backup point guard. Like, there's just a lot here. So you have the on-court historical stuff. You have the human connections. There's just a lot to this series to unpack.
Oh, there's so much, and I can't wait to see how it all shakes out. And to me, I'm not trying to oversimplify it. I'm not trying to boil it down, but I think the Nuggets will win this series unless Anthony Edwards goes absolutely superhuman. And the problem is Anthony Edwards could do that. The guy's a special player. He's a really special player, and he's ripped our hearts out before, and you just described it really well, sort of his demeanor, and he earned the way to be that. Have that attitude after Game 7, right? Like, talk your smack, dude. You just erased a 20-point deficit. Like, as a Nuggets fan, it rips my heart out, but I can't sit here and get mad at him. I mean, that was the biggest moment of his career, his basketball career at that point in time.
Definitely.
So that to me is, again, there's so many matchups, and I know you and Phil are going to break them all down throughout the week with Game 1 being on Saturday, but I'm not trying to oversimplify it, but I think it's a fair statement. If Anthony Edwards just plays well, Nuggets will win this series in 5 or 6, maybe 7. If Anthony Edwards plays out of his mind, you could talk me into Minnesota winning in 6 or 7.
Well, you got to remember a year ago, the Denver Nuggets were down 0-2. 0-2 after 2 games on their home floor. That cannot happen.
Or 2 years ago, you mean?
Or excuse me, 2 years ago, yes. 2 years ago, being down 0-2, going to Minnesota. Like, goodness gracious. But I'll say this, there's a handful of things that are not the same in this series. One, no Karl Anthony Towns. That's a big deal, right? And Julius Randle is a very good player. But that cat dynamic here was very problematic.
Who won that trade, by the way? Because I think it's worked out pretty well for both franchises.
Yeah, it feels almost like one of these rare win-win intersections, honestly. Knicks have title aspirations after Boston. I think they have the next best shot to come out of the East. Julius Randle, really good. Physical. That's the other thing with this series. It's not to reduce it down to its simplest form, but who's the tougher team here? Who's the tougher team? Like, that Nuggets team 2 years ago, it lacked a toughness. Even the team a year ago, to a different degree, but it lacked a toughness. Like, what is the grit and metal of this current group? And you know who I think is a big-time ingredient? Like, not a main ingredient, but almost like the way you would mix in some cayenne pepper, some crushed pepper as an accent, but you was like, whoa, that's kicked up a little bit. It's Bruce Brown. Bruce Brown was not with the team when they blew that 20-point lead.
That's a great pull by you. He departed. And we remember the parade. Brucey B ain't going anywhere. Well, he was going to get his bag, and rightfully so, and well-deserved. But you're right. That's a good X factor in this series.
Majorly.
They didn't have Bruce Brown in that 20-point collapse.
No, and he represents just a toughness, a you will not tread on me attitude. And after a really slow start to the season, Bruce Brown has been great for about 2.5 months here. And so I just think that you mixing back in, which, by the way, Bruce Brown played all 82 games this year. Salute, after being banged up for a couple of years.
Only guy on the team that can say that, I assume?
Yes, I believe so.
I can't imagine another player playing all 82.
No, Tim Hardaway played 80. He's the only guy. Brucey freaking B, all 82 games, but that guy's tougher than a $2 steak. And so I like that guy being back in Denver's corner in a matchup like this. And so who's the tougher team? Do you have the requisite toughness to get past a Julius Randle, Anthony Edwards, style of team? And they're going to muck it up. They're going to pick up full court. I mean, it's like bring your lunch, bring your hard hat. Like Denver's the more talented team. But in the past couple of years, Minnesota's been the tougher team. And like what shade of blue is on your collar? How dark and deep does that blue get? We're going to find out starting on Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jamal Murray could be the guy that swings everything because think about it when they won it all. He was the perfect Robin to Jokic's Batman. He had a triple-double at the same night Jokic did down in Miami. He was phenomenal, beloved. And then something happened. I don't know what happened. It's just an expression, but Jamal kind of looked fat and happy with one ring. And I think that scared a lot of Nuggets fans
Scared me.
This dude is so tough and was such a badass during the championship run, and now he just seems happy with his one ring and his big payday. And I don't know what happened. Maybe it was the firing of Michael Malone, the firing of Calvin Booth. Something has woken Jamal Murray up. And he was a first-time All-Star this year. He's having the best year of his career. And I think he's going to take this very personally after the way the Timberwolves sort of, I don't think embarrassed is too strong a word.
No, definitely.
In that series a couple years ago. And what version of Jamal do you get? Because if you get the 2023 version, I may see you at a parade in a couple months. If for whatever reason they can lock him down again, the Nuggets could be one and done in this series. I don't think that's going to happen.
No, but to think that it's not a birthright here, like to think that they couldn't get bounced in the first round if they don't, have their P's and Q's and I's dotted and T's crossed from a toughness, execution, all that standpoint. This could be over pretty quick. But Jamal, he's playing the best basketball of his career. Career high in points, career high from three, career high in assists. Do we realize Jamal Murray is 10th in the league in assists?
That's crazy.
He's 12th in scoring. The guy's shooting 48% from the field. But you go back to that series where the margins were razor thin. I'm talking about the second round, the year where they're trying to repeat. 17 points in game 1, 8 points in game 2, 24 points in game 3, 19 points in game 4, 16 points in game 5, 10 points in game 6. That means in 5 of the 6 games leading up to game 7, Jamal Murray as a max player failed to reach 20 points in 5 of the 6 games. If that's the dynamic this time around, flip a coin. That's who's moving on. I don't think that's the case. I think he's got a chip on his shoulder for the first time in a long time, as you framed it. And that, like when we talk about what's the biggest difference from 2 years ago, yeah, Karl Anthony Towns, yeah, Julius Randle, yeah, Bruce Brown being back in the fold, yeah, no more KCP, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Like, there's moving chess pieces all around. But the biggest, like, Jamal Murray is a queen on the chessboard. And if he is a similar version starting on Saturday that we've got for the last 6 months, yeah, parades in play, big time.
Yeah, and you're right. A lot's changed from that series 2 years ago, but I think you were going to say it, the big players remain. Nikola Jokic remains. Anthony Edwards remains. Jamal Murray remains. Those household names are still on their respective teams, and you don't think they don't remember what happened? Using it as fuel, using it as motivation, revenge, whatever you want to call it. I think sometimes in sports people think, oh, well, these guys, they're not thinking about what happened 2 years ago. They're still human beings. You don't think Nikola Jokic remembers what happened 2 years ago? You don't think Jamal Murray has that memory? I absolutely do. Aaron Gordon, all these guys are still here, and you can never make up for what happened in 2024. No one has a time machine to go change the past.
Nope.
But if you get past Minnesota, and then you get past San Antonio, and you can take down the Thunder, and then win it all, 2024 starts to sting a lot less. I've always said this about the Peyton Manning era Broncos. The Raheem Moore game ripped my heart out, Zach. Worst Broncos loss of my life. Super Bowl 48, I was in the building. I tell people I paid for a very expensive Bruno Mars concert because they got their tails kicked right after the ball went over Peyton's head, never had a shot against the Seahawks. But a lot of that pain got reversed by what happened in Super Bowl 50. I fondly remember the Peyton Manning era, and if they didn't win Super Bowl 50, Yeah, there have been a lot of good memories, greatest offense in NFL history, but it wouldn't have felt the same, man. It wouldn't have felt the same. But what happened against the Ravens and what happened against the Seahawks, a lot of that pain has kind of faded away because they did win Super Bowl 50. If you can win a title this year, losing in Game 7 in 2024, it'll never go away, but it'll help ease the sting.
No doubt about it. By the way, Nikola Jokic against Minnesota in 4 games this season. Think about this. This is nuts. And this is against, inarguably, and I know a lot of people don't like him around here, inarguably one of the greatest defensive players in NBA history and a first ballot Hall of Famer, just signed, sealed, delivered. I'm yours. That's going to happen. Rudy Gobert. I think it's 4 Defensive Player of the Year awards, NBA record. Jokic against Minnesota this year, 4 games. 36 points per game, 15 rebounds per game, over 11 assists per game. He's the only player to average 35, 15, and 10 versus a single opponent in one season in NBA history that played him a minimum of 4 games.
That's nuts.
He's a freakazoid. He's a unicorn. There's a horn somewhere in that head of his. Okay, I'm going to hold my breath over the next 72 hours when it comes to the Avalanche, and we'll talk about why coming up next.
Get ready, Broncos country. This is the event you've been waiting for. Join Peyton Manning, Emmanuel Sanders, Von Miller, DeMarcus Ware, Aqib Talib, TJ Ward, and Coach Gary Kubiak as they reunite to relive their legendary Super Bowl 50 run. It's Night of Champions, a live, unforgettable show packed with stories, memories, and a behind-the-scenes look at one of the greatest seasons in NFL history. And Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan wants you to be there. Enter now for your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets at DenverSports.com/champions. Don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime night with the heroes of Super Bowl 50.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait. And don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hey guys, looking for TRT that's flexible enough for your lifestyle? Head to Low T Center, the #1 name in TRT. Choose from testosterone shots, pills, or enclophamine. You can get your treatment in clinic or have testosterone shipped right to your door front. You can even choose self-pay or insurance coverage for the payment option that works best for you. Boost energy, increase confidence, and bring back the heat in the bedroom. Book a free T-test now at FixMyLowT.com. That's FixMyLowT.com.
Still babysitting your cleaning crew? Missed trash, dusty desks, complaints from staff? Pike Janitorial has served Denver businesses since 1994 with professionally supervised commercial cleaning that gets done right the first time. Offices, warehouses, medical facilities, they show up, handle it, and you don't have to think about it. No excuses, no callbacks. And they'll beat your current cleaner's price by 10%. Guaranteed. Call 303-306-0290. Pike Janitorial. Clean you can count on.
When the Nuggets are knocking down threes, you score too. If Denver hits 15 or more three-pointers, you score a free 28-ounce Gatorade Lower Sugar the very next day at your friendly King Soopers. Gatorade Lower Sugar is scientifically formulated with Gatorade's #1 proven electrolyte blend and has 75% less sugar than Gatorade Thirst Quencher and no artificial flavors, sweeteners, or colors. Big shots deserve next-level hydration. Only at King Soopers.
Ent is becoming wings. It's a big change. But we're not changing the way we show up for our communities, or our personal service, or the people who provide it. We're not changing locations. We're not even replacing the coffee machine. But we are changing our name. We'll probably even get some new pens. It'll be a big day for Penn people. And Credit Union, insured by NCUA.
Where will you find her perfect engagement ring?
There's only one fine jeweler in Denver with all the world's top bridal designers. I'm Michelle Williams.
And I'm Bruce Williams from Williams Jewelers. Only here in our bridal design gallery will you find Gabriel & Company, E. Jaffe, Parade, and the legendary Takori.
Thousands of diamond engagement rings. Every style and every price range. If it's on her Pinterest page, it's here.
Add to that our famous Williams Jewelers Diamond Bar with almost every size, shape, and price range diamond.
And our expert diamond professionals will help you put it all together perfectly.
At the guaranteed best price in Colorado, we even have flexible payment terms for qualified buyers, so you can do this today.
That's why more couples say will you with Williams.
Where Colorado shines.
Williams Jewelers, we can make diamonds a part of your life.
Williams Jewelers in Cherry Creek North on 3rd Avenue between Fillmore and Detroit, the official jeweler of the Colorado Avalanche.
Jacob's Law and 303 Law 4040. I want to tell you about one of the cases I'm most proud of. And it's not because the number is eye-popping, although it is. It's because the clients trusted us to get them justice, and we delivered for them. Our clients were a wonderful couple, weren't looking to get rich. In fact, they kept saying, Dan, we're not looking to set any records here. But they were seriously injured, and despite promising to take care of them, when it came time to do the right thing, the insurance companies played hardball. We set it for trial and wound up getting $8.5 million. Plus, my lovely wife, Kimberly, was able to get all of their medical bills wiped out, putting hundreds of thousands of extra dollars in the clients' pockets. We were proud to help because our clients were good-hearted people who deserved justice. We hope you never need us, but if you do, we are here to help at 303 Law 4040, where you always get to meet directly with me and my lovely wife, Kimberly. Save that number in your phone. You never know when you're going to need it. That's 303 Law 4040.
Hi, Dan Cicchini. For custom kitchens or cabinetry facing done right, go to drhi.com. Great cash incentives or a special financing rate of 0% APR with 72 equal monthly payments with approved credit. Call for details, 800-362-8370.
Cecil Lammy here for Window Nation. Spring is a great time to open your windows and wait a second, what? Windows won't open? They leak? They're cracked? They need repainting again? Getting top quality custom fit windows from Window Nation is easy and affordable. During the More You Buy, the More You Save sale, you could save up to 50% off. Plus, you could get them with 0 interest for 5 years. During uncertain times, one of the best investments you can make is in your home. So visit windownation.com now to book a consultation.
The right financial strategies can make a huge difference, especially if you're nearing retirement. Adam Mueller talks retirement strategies with Mile High Money. Saturday mornings at 8 on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
This segment on 104.3 The Fan is brought to you by Gravely Zero-Turn Commercial Mowers.
You're listening to The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
I'm going to be holding my breath over the next 72 hours when it comes to the Colorado Avalanche. Talk about why here. Also some Hart Trophy stuff. We'll get into it. But before we do that, guys, Thursday, April 23rd, starting at 2 o'clock, join us for our draft party live from Sportsbook Bar and Grill in Parker, brought to you by Carrier Colorado. It all starts with the drive at 2 p.m., followed by a special roundtable with Mark Schlereth, Brandon Stokely, Phillip Lindsay, and that's at 4, all right? And then at 6 p.m., Cecil Lammy and John Davis will take you through every pick of the first round. That's Thursday, April 23rd at Sportsbook Bar and Grill in Parker. Okay, shifting gears here. I'm going to be holding my breath for the next 72 hours when it comes to the Avs, all right? And the reason why is, man, I don't like this no-stakes hockey and just having to go through the motions for the sake of just simply finishing the season, which is academic at this point. There's nothing left to play for. And you saw Nazem Kadri get hurt last week. Josh Manson leaves the game early with an upper body injury on Saturday night. He's an important member of this team. Shoot, we saw Jared Bednar take a puck off the face for facial fractures and a corneal abrasion. I don't like this backstretch where there's nothing to play for. You're kind of like in purgatory, just waiting for this thing to end.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised as many guys are in Edmonton with the Avs right now as they are. I would have just left a handful of the superstars here in Denver with Coach Bednar. They didn't get an Olympic break. Those guys went and played their tails off for 3 weeks in Italy. This would be the perfect time to tell Nathan MacKinnon, you know what? You don't have to come to Edmonton or Calgary. Gabriel Landeskog, all good. Hang out in Denver with your kids. I understand that someone's got to play. They signed up for these. Someone's got to play the games, but I would have liked to see a couple superstars stay behind. I know that Cale Makar was spotted this morning. He's not going to play tonight. I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful they're not trying to force Kadri either. No reason for those guys to play until round 1, game 1. But, yeah, they lose 6-2 tonight, Zach, but they stay healthy. All good, man. You win 3-1, but someone gets hurt. No one cares about those 2 points. They literally do not matter.
No, and you would like to think that you say, well, just shut everyone down and promote all these Colorado Eagles. Well, you can't do that because you're going to go into the salary cap. And so you can't do that. So you got to be judicious in how you balance this. But I'm with you. If you could, you would, or I would, you would. Mackenzie Blackwood played well again on Saturday. That's good to see. Marty Netchis got an assist. He's at 99 points, sitting on 100. Nate remains at 52 goals. Okay, and I want to talk about this here. So Nate is sitting on 52 goals, a career high. Montreal's Cole Caulfield now has 51. All right, these two are going for the Rocket Richard. All right, Montreal has 2 games left. McKinnon and the Avs have 3. Will he play in all 3? We don't know. But you wrote about this on DenverSports.com, piggybacking on what came out of ESPN today. All right, they came out with their final awards watch earlier today. All right, and it's sort of like smacks of a similarity of the straw poll that Tim Bontemps does on the basketball side. And McKinnon has been passed for the Hart Trophy by Nikita Kucherov. Again, this is not a lock saying he's no longer going to win the Hart Trophy, but Kucherov earned roughly 50% of the first place votes. I don't like this. I don't like it at all.
No, Nathan MacKinnon's had a Hart Trophy-worthy season. He's been robbed of the Hart a couple other times in his career as well. Would have been really nice, and he still could, like you said, get his second Hart Trophy. And obviously, if he gets a Conn Smythe and a Stanley Cup and all those things, he enters into rarefied air in terms of where he starts to stack up with the greats in NHL history. But I don't really think this is a product of MacKinnon has done anything wrong. I think Kucherov is just absolutely on fire at this moment in time. And in that article, another voter talked about this is the tightest Hart Trophy race he's ever seen, with Connor McDavid in the mix as well. He's going to be a finalist. Those are going to be your 3 finalists that we'll see at the NHL Awards, which they do after the season. But if his name is not called, I think if I had told you that a month ago, you would have said, what? What are you talking about? Now there does seem to be a reality that we could live in, that Nathan MacKinnon does not win the Hart Trophy this season.
It shouldn't come down to an arbitrary goal or 2 in the last 1 or 2 games of the year. But if MacKinnon gets passed for some reason by Cole Caulfield in Montreal, who's a fantastic young player, very exciting. If you're not leading the league in goals and you're not leading the league in points and you're not second in points because he's been passed by McDavid and Kucherov, oh, man, it's going to be a hard pill to swallow.
Well, think about this. They've won the President's Trophy, the Central Division, number 1 seed in the West. Cale Makar's not going to win the Norris Trophy either. That's probably going to go to Zach Werenski of the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Right.
For all the team success they've had, they may not win a single individual award this season. Now, you talk to the guys, what do they all care about? The Stanley Cup. And that's what the fans care about the most too. But it would be a little bit of a shame and disappointing to not get a single piece of individual hardware in a season that's been tremendously special, and they've been the best team in the league from start to finish.
Yeah. And Bednar never almost gets considered for the Jack Adams. So, yeah, that would be interesting. If they're one of the great regular season teams that we've seen in recent memory, strike out on the Norris and the Hart and maybe even the Rocket Richard and
the Vezina. I think Scott Wedgwood should be getting more love for that, and he's not even in the conversation anymore.
Not even in the conversation.
Which is crazy to me because he leads the NHL in goals against average and save percentage.
Correct.
Last time I checked, 2 pretty important stats for a goaltender.
Yeah, his part-time status is going to be held against him by a lot of people. But yeah, I really want this Hart Trophy for Nathan MacKinnon. There's only one guy in the history of Denver sports who has multiple MVPs. Just one. Elway has one. TD has one. Peyton Manning has one as a Bronco. Larry Walker has one. There's only one that has more than
Nikola
one.
Jokic.
It's Jokic.
Yeah.
Sakic has one. Peter Forsberg has one. Only one has multiple. And in this golden age of Denver sports, would love to see Nathan MacKinnon be on, that list, that incredibly short list. Well, it's not even a list. It's got one name on it. I think you'd have to have more than one thing for it to be a list. So I want it for him. I know he wants it. I hope it doesn't come at a detriment in any way, shape, or form.
Well, and think about what happened in the Olympics a couple months ago. I mean, like it or not, Nathan MacKinnon became the story of the gold medal game.
One of the stories, yeah.
I think he was the story.
Well, I mean, there was some pretty good players on Team USA as well.
There was, but it felt to me like Nathan MacKinnon missing the half-open net on Connor Hellebuck and then his reaction to getting the stuffed animal, those were somehow even more viral moments than the game-winning goal by Hughes. So, Connor
Hellebuck was pretty good, too.
He was good.
I think from a Canadian perspective, maybe he was the biggest.
Yeah, and maybe I'm looking at this through an Avs lens or whatever. But the redemption of you had the gold medal game kind of on your stick. You couldn't do it.
I know.
But then you win a Hart, you win a Cup, maybe you win a Conn Smythe. I think he'll always be very disappointed about what happened in that gold medal game. But we talked about with the Nuggets sort of washing away the past.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of opportunities over these next 2.5 months to wash away what happened in Italy.
Yeah, it'll be the ultimate Listerine to get that taste out of his mouth. So, all right, if you want to react to that conversation in any way, shape, or form, you can hit us up on the RamosLaw.com text line, 303-713-1043. After an unexpectedly hot start, the Rockies came back down to earth. Is it typical struggles in San Diego or just a real sign of things to come? Also, someone in Colorado sports just became a legend if she wasn't already there. We'll give you some breaking news coming up next.
Denver. Playoffs are coming, and the Mile High City is ready to rise. On the ice, the Burgundy and Blue are gearing up for another run at the Cup. Fast, fierce, and built for postseason battle. And on the hardwood, Jokic and his crew are locked in and hungry to retake the crown. 2 teams, 1 city, 1 mission, championship glory. Stay locked in all postseason long as Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan keeps you plugged into every goal, every dunk, every heart-pounding moment from the teams that make this city roar. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan, Denver's playoff headquarters.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
A multi-billion-dollar settlement is paying claims for up to 21 years. If you were exposed to weed killers at work or at home, your rights are affected. If you or your family has or had non-Hodgkin lymphoma, you could receive $6,000 to $165,000 or more. This settlement impacts you even if you're not sick, because this blood cancer can take 10 to 15 years to appear. If you stay in the settlement, you give up your right to sue. Learn more at weedkillerclass.com or call 888-403-8201. Paid for by the Roundup Settlement.
Hey, it's Stokely. Spring is here, but you know Colorado. Warm one day, chilly the next. And trust me, summer is coming in hot. Beat the rush with an early bird air conditioner tune-up and inspection for only $49 from ROX Rocks Heating and Air. They'll inspect your system and keep you cool when everyone else is scrambling. Call Rocks Heating and Air today and schedule your tune-up before the end of April. Now play that jingle.
HVAC service, installation, repair, ROX, Rocks, Heating and Air.
It's the weekend, and the last thing you want is yard work.
At Waterloo Turf, they help Denver homeowners trade lawn chores for more free time. No mowing, no watering, no mud. Just a green championship-level lawn all season long. Perfect for kids, pets, and backyard get-togethers. From backyards to putting greens, Waterloo Turf installs premium artificial turf built for Colorado. Visit waterlooturf.com/Denver and book your free consultation. Waterloo Turf. Get your Saturdays back.
Is your financial advisor managing your risk or just a spreadsheet? Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. Many financial advisors rely on target date funds, which are one-size-fits-all portfolios that don't know your name, your family, or your goals. And that passive management can leave you dangerously exposed. At Trajan, we look at the whole picture, not just the stocks everyone else buys, but the private market opportunities most advisors ignore. And as fiduciaries, we build a strategy around you, coordinating your investments, tax strategy, and estate into one cohesive plan. Your financial life deserves more than just a generic portfolio. Real planning isn't a stack of statements. It's the confidence of knowing where your income will come from for the next 30 years. Good enough isn't good enough for your family. It's time for a change. Schedule your complimentary consultation today.
Call Trajan today at 720-204-8100. That's 720-204-8100.
Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Private equity investments require accreditation. Other services through Trajan Estate and Trajan Tax. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
You can't always predict what's next, but you can be ready for it in a BMW SUV. The performance-driven X1 comes built for every journey, while the X3's sporty design and innovative technology keep your drive connected. The X5 blends performance with a commanding presence, or make it even bigger with 3 rows of luxurious seating in the X7. For every road, there's an X built to drive it. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Gebhardt BMW, your trusted family dealer since 1975.
Still haven't filed your taxes? You're not alone, but the longer you wait, the harder the IRS can hit back. Penalties, interest, letters, none of it goes away on its own. At Advanced Tax Solutions, resolving IRS problems is all they do. Whether you're a year behind or 10, their licensed tax professionals can step in fast, stop the stress, and help you get back on track. Don't let another day slip by. A quick call could mean a quick resolution. Contact my friends at Advanced Tax Solutions today and take control of your tax situation before the IRS does.
I've been burned before. I was just repeating the same patterns. It turns out I had a type.
Workplaces everywhere are looking for love. And by love, we mean the easy way to order food at work. Easy Cater.
I thought ordering from great restaurants at work had to be complicated, but then I met Easy Cater. So many options, so flexible, and when I ordered for 50 gluten-free vegans without going over budget, I knew I'd found the platform I wanted to do life and lunch with.
Fall in love with Easy Cater. Start an order at easycater.com.
Jake from State Farm. I just beat my running PR, so I'm celebrating with the Banana Bonanza smoothie.
Hey, and you can keep celebrating when you create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. Go bananas.
I will. Hey, make it a large.
Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Listen up, Denver. This hour's keyword is timeout. TIMEOUT. Text timeout to 303-713-1043 right now, and you could win a $50 Dick's Sporting Goods gift card and qualify for the $1,000 grand prize. That's timeout to 303-713-1043.
By texting, you agree to receive an automated marketing message from Denver Sports 1043 The Fan. Message and data rates may apply. For complete rules or to enter the keyword online, visit www.denversports.com/keyword.
It's The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay on Denver Sports 1043 The Fan.
All right, final segment here on a Monday. Appreciate you guys rocking with Will Peterson filling in for Phillip Lindsay. This is typically around the time of the show I say, hey, stopping by, friend of the show, the scrappy one, the scrapster, Scrap Peterson. What up, Will?
What up, boys?
Been hanging out for 4 hours here. Been a really fun show. Chopping it up, talking everything Denver sports, Colorado sports, even beyond just the city of Denver. I want to give a shout out and then we'll get to the Rockies weekend. I want to give a shout-out. I said going into the last break, if she wasn't already a legend, she is now, and I think she was already a legend. Lauren Betts from Grandview High School, the former National Player of the Year in women's basketball that went to the top team at the time, Stanford, who the coach wouldn't play. She transfers to UCLA, becomes the most dominant player in the country, arguably, wins the national championship with UCLA for their first ever NCAA title. She gets most outstanding player, was just a top 5 draft pick in the WNBA draft going to Washington, 4th overall. Pretty cool.
Very cool. I got a chance when I worked over at 9 News to interview Lauren a couple of times when she was at Grandview. And, Zach, we're both pretty tall guys. Lauren was taller than me. I had to tilt that camera up to get her for the interview, and she could not have been kinder, classier, friendlier. You kind of have to pinch yourself at the time and say, she's still in high school, right? But she was very mature, wise beyond her years, gave great answers. I think just good family, good human being. And I know you know the Betts family a little bit, or you may have met the dad over the years.
Oh, yeah,
and,
a handful of times.
Easy people to root for sure.
Yeah.
And very cool for Lauren to be a top 5 pick in the WNBA draft.
Yeah, her younger sister, Sienna Betts, was the Gatorade Player of the Year here in Colorado, joined her sister at UCLA, so that's pretty cool. Like, and her, and hopefully I'm not talking out of school, but her father told me, Lauren Betts' father told me that, actually, I'm not going to share. But I'll just say this: she had an opportunity to be in the WNBA a year ago.
Okay.
And to be a first-round draft pick a year ago. But her situation at UCLA was so good and profitable that she decided to stay and play 1 year with her sister. And now you see her in commercials. She's in national commercials and everything like that. So good for Lauren Betts. Dante, any thought on Lauren Betts going top 5 in the WNBA draft?
Congratulations to her. Awesome.
Just really great stuff. All right. Shifting gears here, the Rockies, after an unexpectedly hot start, they come back down to earth. Is it typical struggles in San Diego or just a honest sign of things to come? I'll give you the super condensed version of the Rockies weekend if you didn't watch the way that I did. Thursday, we covered it on Friday. It was a 7-3 loss, scores deceiving, went to 12 innings, ended with a Xander Bogaerts grand slam in the 12th. Game 2, Friday night, Padres win 5-2. It was a late collapse for Colorado that once again, for a second straight night, ended on the final at bat, a 3-run walk-off homer in the 9th inning from Gavin Sheets. On Saturday night, Padres win 9-5. Rockies actually jumped out to a 4-0 lead in that game. San Diego answers in a major way of their own, and they win going away. And then Game 4 on Sunday, it was a 7-2 Padres win. Rocks just managed 2 hits, struck out a whopping 12 times.
Yeah, and you worry about Kyle Freeland getting scratched before that start yesterday, some sort of shoulder issue, and obviously Kyle's getting a little older. Feels like just yesterday he was making his debut as the hometown kid, but that always catches your attention if it's April 12th and a guy's getting scratched with some arm soreness. Hopefully nothing more than that, but could be something we have to monitor all year long. And
because he's been great. That
was
great. Unfortunate.
It was really unfortunate. He looks like he's found kind of the old version of Kyle Freeland, not the version we saw the last couple of years. But they're 6-10 now. They get swept by the Padres, and I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. I'm not trying to be a buzzkill. They're now on pace to lose 100 games again. This is probably who the Rockies are going to be. And I know some people got very excited about a 6-6 start. Even bad baseball teams play 500 baseball through 12 games. I think we got a version of the real Rockies over the weekend in San Diego.
You're probably right. That is the most likely scenario. I'll still be hopeful that the team can be competent and competitive. Those 2 C's are what I've asked. That's what they were. And that really, and look, I'm not here to play defense for the Rockies. They certainly don't work for the team. But they get swept in San Diego. One is in the 12th inning, right, on a late Thursday night. The other is a walk-off homer in the bottom of the 9th. The third loss, you actually had a 4-run lead in that game. And then the fourth one, it was just not as competitive. It was just flat out, like, unequivocal. So losses, yes. Scrappy, yes, like yourself. At the end of the day, I remember, I'll just repeat myself from a week ago. I was choosing to be optimistic. I picked up the option to be optimistic. I was reacting to the games. We'll continue to do so. But given between the two, going back to the T's is just typical San Diego struggles, Or is this probably a sign of things to come? Probably a sign of things to come.
Yeah, I think there's a difference between optimism and reality. The Rockies conversation kind of reminded me, Zach, of the chatter around Jarrett Stidham leading into the AFC title game. Just felt like a lot of blind faith. And I wasn't trying to be a Debbie Downer. They were about to host the AFC title game, but I remember some of the narratives were like, oh, Stiddy's great. He's going to come in. Based on what? We have no evidence. The guy had won one game in his entire NFL career. I thought 6-6 with the Rockies. People, they weren't 60-60. They were 6-6.
Right.
We need to pump the brakes just a little bit.
All right, well, we'll see what happens starting tomorrow in Houston, a team that they swept for the first time since the Astros were an NL team. So we'll see how it goes when the worm is turned and you're in Houston away from Coors Field. By the way, away from Coors Field, Rockies are hitting .223 with a 28% strikeout rate. That is, you keep that up, you're going to be doomed.
Some alarming numbers for sure.
All right, we're going to keep it there for now. Thank you, Will, for being here.
Yeah,
really
had a lot of fun,
show.
Zach.
Yeah.
Flew by.
It absolutely flew by. Shout out Dante and Drew behind the glass. We step aside. It's Denver Sports Tonight. Coming up next.
Denver stands on top once again. The DU Pioneers are national champions, bringing home their third title in 5 years. Score! Powered by grit, defined by championship DNA. Congratulations to the Pios, college hockey's gold standard. Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
What is going on, fellas? Phillip Lindsay here with my guys at Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic. And guys, if you're dealing with erectile dysfunction, otherwise known as ED, then you need to go see my friends right now. Because ED is an intimacy destroyer. And research out there shows that men can draw away from their partners when ED affects their sex life. The conditions can cause stress, anxiety, depression, and even worse, a man's partner can blame themselves when ED becomes the problem. And guys, nobody's partner should be blaming themselves. This is all on you. Go get it treated. My guys at Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic are here to help you out because their treatments work when the pills and herbals fail you. They have treatments with success rates well over 90%. And some of the treatments that they have will have you lasting an hour or even more if you have that much stamina. What you have to do is schedule a consult with Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic today. Your initial visit is only $99, which will include a medical consult with a Colorado licensed medical provider, a T and PSA test, and if medically advised, a test dose. And here's the thing, if the test dose does not work in the office, the visit is free. They have 5 locations as well to serve you. So guys, stop messing around and go get treated. You can go to Fort Collins, North Denver, Central Denver, Castle Rock, and Colorado Springs. So give them a call today at 720-440-7900 or visit RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com. That's RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com.
Ben Franklin here to talk to you about water filtration. Unfiltered water in your home is no joke. Did you know tap water can shorten the life of your pipes and, even worse, be dangerous to your family's health? Our punctual plumbers can install a whole home system that filters water before it enters your pipes. Visit BenjaminFranklinPlumbing.com or call 877-BEN-1776 to request an appointment.
Go with the flow, the local pros call Benjamin Franklin Plumbing.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
The cost of living isn't just high, it's exhausting. If you've been leaning on credit cards lately just to cover the basics like groceries, gas, and utility bills, you're essentially paying a survival tax of 20% interest or more. Why keep handing your hard-earned paycheck to the big banks when you could keep it for your family? My friends at American Financing have a better way. They're helping homeowners tap into their equity to pay off high-interest debt with mortgage rates currently in the 5s. On average, American Financing is saving their customers $800 a month. That's nearly